Sweet.
All right. Welcome to Attention Wrestling Disorder. This is probably episode 13 at this point. I don't
Boy.
know.
12 or 13, yeah, something like that.
So I am RJ Show, awake, and the whole show, nothing but the damn show, since I was asleep last week. And you are?
Over there. I am Chucky Hashi, but no longer Chucky Hashi. The hair had to go. So as per Mr. RJ Show, I am now Chuck Coffee. So after this episode, moving forward, every episode, I'm going to do nothing but drink coffee while we do these. So I am the counterbalance Chuck Coffee.
Oh, yeah. And I am the Hot Rod 521, not your one, not your two, not your three, but your four-time ELW Fantasy Champion.
For now, I'm going to take that record away from you.
We'll see about that. Good luck with that one.
Okay, Trash Talkers.
We have another guest this week. First of all, thank you once again to GSW's Brian Tamborello for being here on their last show. It was great to having him on, talking about the pay-per-view on Fight and everything. And
this ended up being a very good card. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yeah, it was really awesome. But we have this week a dude I've known for who knows how long, for millions of years at this point. We're talking about, we got Hash from Evolution Comics and This Week in Pulp Culture.
That's right, baby.
Culture.
Every Tuesdays, every Wednesdays, every Sundays, live in your face.
I like how you and you've been doing this. How long have you been doing the pop culture show now?
The pop culture show right now has been right about a year and 2 episodes now. So we've done about 40 episodes of This Week in Pop Culture, doing it every Sunday. It started off as a rouge because we saw a lot of our friends giving out misinformation, fan information's going wrong, and we're going, if you're fans, you read the comics, you watch the movies, and you're telling people how society's going, but you don't leave your house. I took it upon myself to give out information because I was the guy that was at C2E2 right at the last live AEW event, which was also the last appearance of a actual comic book convention. So
that was 2019, right?
Yeah, which was literally 2020 actually.
Probably like February-ish, yeah.
It was March, at the end of March. And we were just hearing a lot of people giving out misinformation. If everyone's a giant fan, let's talk about it. Like movies, video games, like anything that came to mind, we were talking about the movies. But also we were doing it in a way so you had something to think about, which was awesome.
And yeah, you cover a lot of material in there. And then Evolution Comics. So I'm a little confused with that. If you look at your Facebook profile, for Evolution Comics, it kind of, you think you're talking about a comic book company, but when you go on the website, you see it's a lot of artwork, kind of fan base. Stop me anytime and
keep going, because that's exactly what it is. We had our own comic books at the start of it. Back in 2015, 2016, we did have 3 comic book lines as well too. Some of our writers have come and gone. That went kind of stag. We started representing artists just like it was back in the music scene. A lot of bands will say, a lot of artists can't go from, let's say, where I live in New York, can't go to Arizona, can't go to Texas, can't go to California or Florida. So we were representing them going to other shows. It's kind of like, we'll take your art, we'll at this rate take your music, and we'll take it on the road with us, and we'll represent you, we'll introduce you to people, and we'll find a fan base for you on the road. So that's how it also started.
Oh, cool. And and you've been doing it for a while now, and you incorporate, well, while we're here today, not just comics and music, wrestling is in there too.
Wrestling's my first love. As much as I love to hate to love it, it's like the step brother you don't want but still have, kind of thing.
Oh, I know that feeling. Yeah, I know that one. I can relate. I love and hate wrestling right now. I've been telling these guys constantly.
I can definitely relate.
We know. You're very outspoken about your opinions lately too.
Huh?
I've come and gone to wrestling so many
Oh.
times that it takes one wrestler to take me away from wrestling, but one wrestler to bring me back.
For sure.
Which I've always loved, and there are people along the way that have always brought me back. Case in point, Christopher Daniels being one of them
Oh, he's
has
fantastic.
always brought me back.
Love
See him at
CD.
shows. We'll talk. He'll stop his security when we're at a convention. Stop his security. He'll say, "No, he's cool. We're okay," and we'll talk about like 10, 15 minutes at a show. This happened at the last C2E2 show, which was also an AEW event.
Which is pretty awesome.
Yeah,
When I was getting back into wrestling, when I was like probably early college, probably 2004-ish, Randy Orton was my guy at the time. Randy Orton is fantastic. Like in my mind, he can't do wrong, but that's just me.
start of the ruthless aggression era.
Yeah, pretty much. But I didn't watch the Ruthless Aggression era until 2004. Like the beginning of it, I didn't watch it. In high school, I didn't watch wrestling. I was a hater.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie, like 2001, I missed a lot of wrestling. Like 01, the beginning stages of 2002 and all 2004, I missed a lot of wrestling due to my military commitments. Either I was at boot camp or I was
Yeah.
deployed.
And also at the time, TiVo was just like it cost way too much to get a TiVo.
At 2000, what was it? 2003. When I moved down to Florida, for like maybe a year during the whole Daniel Bryan thing, I kind
During
of
the Yes movement.
I tuned out for a while during the Yes movement.
That was a good movement too.
I know, and
Mine was
only
mine was
because
80s and 90s.
I mean, I go back and watch that shit all the time. That's my bread and butter.
I loved, like, I got into, and I've said this a million times, like, Hulk Hogan got me into it. My father would take me to Nassau Coliseum. I saw Hogan versus Perfect, and I was ready to go home, even though it wasn't the main event. And I've seen maybe so many shows at the Coliseum. Warlord versus Davey Boy Smith.
Coliseum, the Garden.
Yeah. The Garden was awesome.
I'm
That's
still
when Bret
convinced.
Hart marked
Seen a
me.
few at the Barclays now too.
Yeah, wrestling's not bad, but I remember I'm still convinced when I was like 10 years old, I went to the 1996 Survivor Series. My mom and my uncles took me and my brother, my family, whatever. And there was a guy, probably around a teenager age, getting really bent out of shape in front of me, thinking that wrestling was real. I'm still convinced it was Rod that was in front of me.
Pipe down.
I'm convinced it was Rod in front of me.
I can imagine. I'm pretty sure it was.
Pipe down.
Because Rod probably
Hey,
was.
it's
like,
okay. No, it's okay. Look, I got marked at a show once, and I'll tell you the quick story and everything.
Yeah.
I got marked by a wrestler, and sadly enough, he's not around. It was Luke Harper, and it was at a WWE
Okay.
access. I made the mistake of showing up with the championship belt, and I was like propping up my friend who brought me to the WWE access thing. And during his match, he started doing yeah, and looking directly at me. And I was that fan who was about to jump over the barricade to try to fight him, not knowing that he's like over 6'4" and would probably pick me up and throw me over the other side of the ring.
Kick your ass.
he was a big guy.
So you know what? It's fun. Enjoy it. That's what
Yeah.
wrestling's all about.
I got one for you. Madison Square Garden. We got these really good seats there. All the way up front. And
I thought they were
when
the
the ref-
nosebleeds.
yeah, and I got to get to the gate area where the wrestlers come down.
Right.
And
entrance.
when Bret Hart was wrestling with, he was Jim Anvil Neidhart, and I forget who it was, a 6-man. The Mountie, and I can't remember who else it was, but they lost the Harts. Bret Hart lost the match, and I was trying to reach for him because he was my favorite, and then he gave me this cold, dead stare, like I lost the match. Why would I want to touch your hand, type of thing. And years later, I realized he fucking marked me out, man.
Right. He was a heel.
You got
at
marked
the
by your
time.
hero.
Oh,
No,
funny,
he was
no.
a face at the time. He was a face, but he was pissed off because he lost the match.
So you're a kid.
No,
You know?
now
Yeah,
I got my
I-
own personal story too. Funny story.
No, I'm saying he got me, is what I'm saying. He got me. But go ahead.
It was SummerSlam '91, the match made in heaven, the match made in hell. My grandfather got me tickets. I was like so amped up, and I was all happy because I legitimately thought, like the Macho Man, Miss Elizabeth, whether it was real. I think, wow, I got tickets and I'll reach out pay-per-view to wrestling. So I got to brag to all my friends and stuff that like this was like the first wedding I ever went to. I'm like what, like probably 8 years old at the time. Little did I realize at the time that like this wasn't their real wedding, and they were actually divorcing when this wedding happened.
Oh yeah, because you just watched the documentary and now you're going, oh, I got
Right, I'm thinking that's the
down.
first. I'm thinking that's the first wedding I ever went to. I'm all happy and crap.
We're gonna call it the hot rod screw job. That's what it
Hot
is. That's
screw
the
job.
hot
I
rod
like
screw
that.
job.
Hot rod screw
Speaking
job.
of, I have the hot rod screw job on DVD right here.
Yes.
I got that DVD too.
Do you?
Oh yeah, brother.
So
Nothing
Rod
job like hot rod.
Yeah, so everybody knows. Hash is a big collectible guy. He's big on his collectibles.
He is.
He
Not
has,
as big
he
collection
talks
behind
about
him.
it, on his shows, all the cool hot figurines coming out.
Yeah.
All the good stuff. So
If you look in the background, you can see, if you look where Hash is, you can see he's got the two, you got the European title there. I can't tell if you have.
I got the WWF Big Gold.
Yep.
That's standing behind me. What's also behind me, this is an actual fake. This is a WWF Intercontinental Championship. But
Which one did I see when I was over there? When I went to your house, was it the
not
Booker
here.
T one?
The Booker T one's right here.
Oh, you're the one in your old house then, yeah. Because I've never.
Oh,
This
speaking
one.
of titles, I got the Blue Universal and the new United States Championship on its way.
nice.
Nice.
Blue Universal and the United States title.
The brand new one too.
Hey, remember that
Back from last show.
John Cena at WrestleMania and it was amazing?
Oh, you mean when the Rock freaking lacing out the Rock bomb, enabling the Miz to
I don't know, Sean, but I saw a clean pin from the Miz.
I'm sure you
It was
was
a clean
too.
match. Just like when Britt Baker won clean. Jack.
Oh yeah. So we're allowed to curb stomp people on title belts now. Okay, got you.
But if you actually watch that Britt Baker match, if you want to be technical about it, yes, Rebel interfered, but it wasn't her interference that actually was the deciding factor. After that,
it was the
other
curb stomp on the
after
title. It was the curb stomp on the
Peter
title
Clean.
that was the deciding factor.
How about this? Okay.
Cry about
Since Rebel is going to be in Long Island next week in June 12th,
Oh,
why
wow.
don't you
Lucky
two
you.
ask her right to her face on June 12th when you guys go to Hastel Toys for the autograph signing?
Nice. Look at that product placement. I like that. That was
Oh,
so
wow.
Sweet.
That
No,
was very smooth
because
of you.
that weekend I won't be in Long Island. I will be in Pittsburgh, in Morrisville, Pennsylvania, for Britt Baker.
Ooh, look at you.
Lucky. So Chuck, why don't you go to that one since you're the one who lives in Long Island?
Well, I would, but again, I'm still in between cars. I'm a little carless right now. An incident went down since our last, or actually it happened at our last episode. Someone
gave Jay the
decided
keys?
to, no, my car. Someone stole my catalytic converter out of my car.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's a thing now. There's a thing
that's
where
the thing.
everyone's
It was on the news and everything. Yeah, no. So, big thing here is that people are taking sawzalls and they're cutting catalytic converters from under cars, especially Hondas, because they have certain materials, like certain metals and stuff, that are worth a lot of money.
Have the Accord or Civic?
I have a CRV.
Okay.
And it's an older CRV, so it's still like when they were really like the higher end catalytics. So yeah, I'm still waiting on the part, and I'm fighting with insurance right now. It's a nightmare. Yeah, that happened right before our last one. I thought I told you guys, not on air, but I
don't remember you telling me that story. I don't
you
remember.
have a sleep, so you probably forgot. It's so good. you were Toast Jay. You were Radio RJ Toast. RJ,
Yeah, I was. Because I woke up from a nap that day.
last time. I'm kidding.
Oh my god.
I'm just kidding. I tease. But yeah, no, I've been dealing with that. But what I do plan on doing is, because I am going on the Jericho Cruise again this year, my mission is to meet Britt Baker. I didn't get to meet her last time. I walked past her a few times, but I didn't get to actually meet her. My buddy met her because I made the stupid choice of meeting the Elite instead, because I was all like, oh, I'm going to mark for the Elite.
Right. I'm gonna go for Cody Rhodes and Bucks, blah blah blah.
They were doing the same time meet and greets, and they didn't have enough tickets for both. Those were the highest demand. At the same time, it was the Elite. It was the women of AEW, SCU, and MJF. I got to meet all of them but the women because of the demand. Like MJF, like 4 people got MJF. I met MJF, and he was awesome.
Live in Long Island. Why would you waste it on? And no offense to MJF.
I love
you live in Long
MJF.
Island. Why would you waste it on MJF?
I love MJF.
Just go to his house.
I mean, it's not that far. It's probably about 10 minutes from here. I live in Massapequa.
I mean, he does live in Massapequa, so yeah.
I
It's
thought
not
he
15
lived
minutes.
in, no, he lives in Plainview.
Yeah,
Doesn't
Plainview's
matter.
like 15 minutes from me.
It doesn't matter. Go to Hicksville to create a pro wrestler because the
Oh,
last
yeah.
time they all did a special event not too long ago. So
Yeah, that's true. I can go meet him. That's a good point.
yep.
True,
Why waste the
true.
money when you know like certain guys are local?
It was part
and
of the package. It wasn't a money waste thing, but I like met them all like just throughout, and then I met SCU. They were cool. But
And the
I wanted to meet the Elite because I'm a Kenny Omega guy.
Nice.
I'm
I'm
definitely
mad at myself. I was trying to play to my audience, you know, the comic book, the enthusiast, the collector.
No.
I got the wrestling shirt. You know, I was debating my Kenny Omega versus Street Fighter one, or
Yeah.
my Brian Cage Wolverine. I went with this one because I haven't worn this one on the show yet. I've worn the first one we did. I wore
He
the other.
was wearing that at the at Double or
No, he was
Nothing.
doing that was
he did
Terminator.
that. Oh,
He
Terminator.
did a new one.
What happened?
He did a new one for Terminator.
Yeah, he did. That's the new one. Yeah, this is the old. This is actually the Impact one. Actually,
Yeah.
fun story about this shirt. I bought this shirt when me and Rod met Brian Cage and Melissa Santos at a House of Hardcore Impact event like 2 years
That was
ago.
a fun. Yeah, that was a fun.
Just
night.
go, just go
matter
to
of
the
fact,
pro wrestling event.
It's legit. Been almost 2 years now since that event. It's been almost 2
It's
years.
been about 2 years.
Just go to prowrestling.com events. They're all over the place, all over Jersey, and they're all run by the Creative Pro Wrestler guys too.
Right.
Cage is
Because
there all the
I
time.
remember what happened. What happened was like I literally flew in to New York from Florida. Chuck picked me up from the airport, and we went right to the show. Got tickets.
Nice.
Yep. And Rod left his autograph on their table.
Yep.
And
they
she
hung
was
out
nice.
with her.
Yeah,
They were
she
cool.
was nice, and they was nice enough to hang on to it. They're awesome. That's why I got all the love in the world for Melissa and
Okay.
Brian, and I hope Melissa gets picked up by AEW one day.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
She was. Why did they fire her from Impact?
I have no idea. I never heard
Did
the
they
official
fire
reason
her?
why.
I have no idea what
Yeah,
happened.
no, she's official. Yeah. She announced on her
People
Instagram
watch
that she
Impact
wasn't working
Wrestling?
with them anymore. Pipe down over there.
People watching stuff.
Yes, I watch
So do I.
Impact
Chuck's
over.
a hater.
I watch
I'm not sure
Impact
about Rod.
just because it's better than AEW.
Hey.
Ooh.
Oh.
So
What?
what is your gripe with AEW? We were talking about this. Now let's get into it.
Oh, boy.
What's your
All right,
gripe?
I want to hear this.
I don't have a gripe. All right, I don't have a
I want
gripe.
popcorn right
but-
now. Rod,
but
I
here's the
popcorn
thing,
for
though.
this right now.
Everyone knows what Botchamania is. Everyone's watched those clips and everything, right?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
90%
some
of
stuff earlier.
Botchamania, 90% of all the clips on Botchamania is AEW now.
Yeah, it used to be Impact and TNA. Remember that?
Used to be Impact, correct? It used to be Impact and TNA. That was their botch matches.
TNA is
They-
fake proof, and it was Christian Cage throwing himself into the stairs and Scott
Oh,
Steiner just
God.
ghosting him like this. Like, I got
Right.
you, bro.
But nothing
Bill
is as
Buffalo.
bad as Jericho falling off the top of Cage to a bunch of cardboard boxes and everything on a ramp.
that was
Make it look super bad.
It looked
Yeah.
terrible.
And then there's
love the match,
what was
that
it?
looked
The
like
barbed wire match. Yeah, that was a thing too. But so what?
Remember
But-
those amazing
No, what
explosives?
was that
Remember
one
those
pay-per-view
amazing
they had?
explosives? And King's like, oh my god, my best friend, I gotta hide him. And then it was nothing. It was
Right.
done.
Remember that?
Right.
What pay-per-view was they had where like all the mats not named Cardona like boss that night?
What?
I
What are
don't
you
know.
talking-
I don't.
What are you
I don't-
talking about?
When Seidel made his debut and he went for that shooting star press and he slipped and like
Oh
Matt
yeah,
Jackson-
that was. I think that was last
pay-per-view, it
year's
was like
Double or
every
Nothing.
mat, every
That was
mat
last
at
year's
that
double.
pay-per-view.
Yeah, that was double. That was last year's double or
I
nothing.
couldn't remember which one it was.
That was last year.
And then they
He was
made
Joker,
the
remember?
storyline that Michael Nakazawa put his oil on the ropes.
That was Matt Seidel's debut into AEW when he.
And then
When he
before
was the
that, Matt
Joker.
Jackson, like he had that slip up too.
Yeah.
And then what happened with Matt Hardy?
Yeah.
But
That
you
was
know
a-
what?
That
So
was a
what?
bad night. If your name was Matt, that was a bad night for you.
But so what? I still love the storylines. I still like what they're doing.
What
You know,
line? What storyline have you watched? I'm sorry. The last paper gotten a lot of ratings, but I didn't. They were all put together last minute. There was no story build between the heavyweight
story
match.
builds that have been
There was
going
no
on.
story
where
build
The
for
Bucks turning heel, the whole Kenny Omega and Don Callis,
one episode,
Forbidden Door
one to
line.
two episodes, not a whole few weeks. Remember, these little storylines all come in within the last 2 or 3 weeks before their pay-per-view because they don't know what they're doing. It shows time and time again. The matches are great. The wrestlers are doing their so-called story. The matches are coming out awesome, but they're also messing up their own moves. I'm waiting for another major injury to happen. What's been happening right now with the whole called dud explosives to the falling of the cage or whatever makes them look like child's play. And if I have to hear the guys reference WCW 24/7, the last time this was on TV, every single beginning and end, I'm so done. As much as I give Christopher Daniels props for always telling me give a product a chance, I love Ring of Honor days. I'd watch Ring of Honor to watch all the new guys, to watch all of them come back and build their character and everything. I'll go back to TNA Impact days, which they had amazing wrestling and great storylines when it came to wrestling. And look
What
at how
years were you
AJ
watching? What years were you
I
watching?
have
TNA?
issues with
You
Ring of
shut
earlier
up.
Honor.
days,
Right there.
the earlier days before WWE bought the tapes, and on purpose they bought the tapes because of the Hardy Boys and AJ Styles.
Pretty much, yeah. So
Right.
pretty much like 2002 to like 2000, like maybe 8.
Right.
And
So
there's that with the crowd.
Oh no, basically before the Hogan era, basically.
during the Hogan, Hogan era kind of hurt.
Oh, you mean the or we talk about the secret right before that, the secret Vince Russo era?
Are you talking
talking about
about
that.
Impact?
Yeah,
We were talking about
secret
TNA
Vince-
days. TNA.
Is
Remember
that
when,
why you can't find a lot of the content on Impact Plus?
Right, because they're actually on Twitch. You can find it on Twitch because they put it live right there, and they constantly put up their matches on. They'll segment their matches and put them on Instagram.
That's how I watch Impact on Thursdays is through Twitch because I don't got access. So that's how I
Yeah, I
watch
do
it.
Twitch too. That's what I do. I watch Twitch, but
Yeah. So
I
as
stream
far
them
as
after
the
the
tape,
fact if I even watch them. I fast forward through half of them. I think I watch like the 2 wrestlers I like and then I'm over it.
yeah, and that's
okay.
why
You're talk. Let me give you one though. How about okay? Do you prefer the company that keeps firing credible and incredible talent and rehiring hacks that can't wrestle?
all right. If we're talking about WWE currently with Eva Marie coming back and
Hack.
Braun Strowman being
I'm glad you caught
fired,
that immediately.
yes, that's exactly the problem that WWE has. But here's the thing: WWE is a money machine. WWE is a worldwide
You're
company.
right. You're right. I 100% agree with you. As much people hate on it, they make money.
Right,
They make more money than any other company does.
right.
You're right.
So everyone can
I think
love
they lose it
AEW.
too.
Right. Everyone can go and love AEW all they want, but AEW is jumping on a nostalgia bandwagon of what you guys want. That is the LGN action figures. And don't forget, the current product that's out right now is Jax. It literally is Jax rebranded for all the fans. While WWE has Mattel, and they have their awesome line where they bring back nostalgia figures that look like the He-Man action figures that come out. When you
Okay,
have
love
bring out the
He-Man.
good stuff.
bandwagon, when you have this as a nostalgia, this wins right now. While currently Cody Rhodes and actually the major brothers, the Major Wrestling Podcast is redoing these action figures to come back because they love the Hasbro line. While Mattel bought the rights to these. That'll be a whole nother
Do you
story. And a
have
whole
any of
nother
the
fight.
AEW toys or no?
No, I'm not. I am not wasting my. Actually, I bought them to sell. That's basically it. AEW. You buy them to sell because Brandy Rhodes. I don't know how this figure gone from like $20 to literally $300 or $400 a figure. That's for you guys. That's for you collectors.
I don't collect figures like that.
No,
All I know is I want to buy the Britt Baker for my daughter, and
Britt-
I'd
Britt-
like to find one.
You'd have to wait. You know.
I went to Target yesterday.
maybe
only
I
found
think
the WWE one.
Ringside
You gotta
Collectibles
dig
might
for it.
have them. Maybe
No,
Ringside Collectibles might
the
have
Brit-
them.
the Britt Baker was just announced. She hasn't been released yet. So if you guys know on release dates, it's not ready yet. So, and on top of that, they're not giving release dates. And to be honest, if you really want to stick to Ringside Collectibles, okay, great. You're making them on a monopoly while you should have them at Targets and Walmarts. Because Ringside Collectibles is going to do what Toy Biz and Toy Wiz has done throughout the years, and that is jack up the prices when they're down to the last figure, and you got to pay $300 for an action figure that you could have bought for $20 back then. So That's up to you guys of how you want to spend your cash when it comes to figures. Remember,
I don't buy figures.
these were brought
I
back
do it like
and
once
they
in
were
a while.
$10. They were brought back and they were $10. Now
I
I
they're
collect the
collect-
whole
I
series.
$1.
of
I
them all
collect the
time.
belts more than I collect the figures. So
Honestly, if I went back to toy collecting, I'd actually play with the toys.
That's fine
You
I
know?
would
too.
get
That's why
drunk and I
some
would create matches with my toy figures like I did when I was younger.
Yeah.
But before I was
buy
drinking,
the rings and
obviously, I did
everything.
that. But nowadays, I would do that and I would just get drunk and be like, "Oh, what about these two feuding or these two feuding?" That's
Right.
pretty much why I play Fire Pro Wrestling World on PS4 because I download all the shit and now I just use all those.
Yeah. So back to WWE, like what they're doing right now. They're rebranding. They've been trying to rebrand. Without live shows, they can't make or sell the products. And don't forget, t-shirt sales is what matters. Action figure sales don't matter. The merch on WWE.com is what matters because that brings up more revenue.
Yep.
Why do you think John Cena was the #1 guy? Because kids were buying John Cena merch.
And they had a
Second
stupid
was
shirt in every
DX.
fucking color, and Rod owns every single one of them.
pipe
Correct.
There he
down.
goes.
Reason
Rod
why
loves that John Cena, but
Right.
we already see him. We see him for
Bunch
what
of
he
a
is.
couple of haters.
Right. But here's the thing though, have you ever noticed, and this has actually happened in WWE, no one ever realized, the way they treat their wrestlers is merchandise sales. If the
That's
merchandise
true,
has
that's
gone
fact.
high enough, those people have become champions without going to different regions. The only time you've seen that happen when they went to India and what's his face became world heavyweight
Jinder.
champion.
Oh,
Jinder
Jinder,
Mahal.
yeah, Jinder Mahal, yeah.
And that's because they needed
They
someone
wanted to branch
to
out and
represent.
they wanted to make the
Yeah.
big business there. No, of course. That's
Correct.
why you have
So you have the Wyatt family. Their merchandise went up on a technical error that I can't say on the show. We'll probably talk about later. That happened that caught the right of the let's just say the Southerners, and they love that logo so much that Bray Wyatt's merchandise went up above John Cena, and there was a reason why Bray Wyatt is not a one-time champion but a two-time champion based on a design error that they never caught after 8 years after.
makes
So
sense.
champions were always based
Isn't
like
he
that.
technically a 3-time champion?
No, talking about world heavyweight title, not tag title.
No, he was.
No,
He had
he
the
got
title.
the Universal title
Yeah.
twice.
And he had the
Yeah.
And
WWE title one time.
Right.
yeah,
Or whatever. But okay, so he's a 3-time champion, but it's based on product. Braun Strowman, same exact thing. But a lot of guys that went up there. Zack Ryder was the only one to get screwed out of his merchandises because of a technical error of him cutting and dyeing his hair, which he would have been world champion because he had, I think, the second or third
He
most.
was like the top selling merch guy under Cena at one point.
Correct.
Like 10 years
And
ago, he was like just under Cena.
right. And to save face, they made him Intercontinental champion that year.
He made him U.S. champ, yeah.
No, Intercontinental champion.
Oh, right,
at
that was the money.
WrestleMania.
24 hours, though.
That's what WrestleMania.
That cup
that
of
was
coffee.
24 hours.
That cup of coffee.
Then
He
they
still got the
waited
belt.
for Hawkins back and instantly made him tag team yet again for the second WrestleMania in New York. So
Yeah.
little tough pill to swallow, and that's how
Yeah.
WWE has always marketed their stuff. If their
course.
T-shirt line starts going down, and based on the wrestlers that aren't been on TV, the sales start to drop. The way Dolph Ziggler makes money is if his stuff is very colorful and it's pink. So you get a lot of people that love the pink stuff. How they get rid of the iconics, I'll still never figure that part out.
I
When it
fucking
comes to the
pissed
women's
about
upset
that.
division, the women's division, they keep bringing it up and they keep
Oh,
hurting it at the same time.
because apparently Kevin Dunn didn't get Billy Kay.
Does it really matter?
Well, I mean, well, when he isn't he like Vince's right hand man though? So
Yeah,
His
technically.
opinion
Well,
doesn't
him
matter.
and Bruce.
Correct. And instead of fighting and instead of firing or releasing the wrestlers, they should have fired and released the writers because some of them just don't know how to write a simple
Yeah.
match.
But that was
Right.
part of the problem with them, and that's the issue, and that's what should have been done. Like you had a gold mine with the Iconics. Why the fuck
Right.
would you break them
Oh,
up?
seriously. And then Braun Strowman's great. Why would you get rid of someone like Braun Strowman? That
Because,
makes no
again,
Braun
it was-
Strowman was invested. They invested so much in Braun
yeah.
Strowman. Look at the not matches, the segments of him flipping a car, not once but twice. Him trashing a was it the Corvette or was it Camaro?
It was
Crashing a
it
car,
was
ripping out the
technically
door and the
Camaros.
hood. Right. Him flipping the truck. They invested a lot of money in him to be whatever they wanted. And we all watched it and go, okay, he's a beast. Why isn't he fighting Brock Lesnar? Why isn't he world
Right.
champion? Why isn't he that?
Or
Then
also what they
I
did
heard
with him
like
was,
a lot of his. I let her with Brock. I mean, with Braun, a lot of stuff was his backstage stuff. Got him in a lot of trouble. Like he would like consistently show up late to shows.
okay,
I'm sure that's
then
part of it, but I'm also sure too that
Accurate.
here's the problem with guys like Braun Strowman. They have the same problem that a lot of monster guys has. Okay, you have him smash over the whole roster. You make him this big monster, you get him at a height. There's no one
Right.
left. What the fuck do you do with a guy that's beating everybody?
correct. You did
And
the
now
what the fuck
Lashley's
the-
that guy.
no, but here you do the Mark Henry Big Show segment with Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman. You trash the ring again, and you don't follow through. Like that's always been a problem with WWE when it comes to that. WWE was other problem that as if we want the top guy, the live shows saves the big guy or saves any wrestler. Look at Kofi Kingston. Zack Ryder got based on fans alone, and they won't get rid of him. Without the live shows, the fans are like the wrestlers are pretty much dead in the water.
Well, the other problem is too this whole Thunderdome bullshit where they manipulate crowd control too. On top of it,
Stupid.
Yes.
they
Well-
literally do. I've done it a couple times. They literally tell you who to cheer and boo.
Well, yeah. If you watch that, if you watch football or basketball or baseball, it was the same crowd noise that we would get as
yeah,
well
of
too.
course.
Except for
They're doing that
except
on
for the fact
Impact
that
too.
no, Impact doesn't have it. You actually hear.
No, the crowd noise. They're doing the crowd noise.
They never did it. They did it the first time and they cut it off. They noticed that they had more viewers with them telling the person where to do their spots and hearing the mat on its own. That's where they started. That's where they listened to the fans. With AEW, they put the wrestlers that weren't on TV on the sideline to build the crowd up, and then they were allowing the 10% capacity or whatever fans that were
Now
able
it's
to
full
get in
again.
at the time.
And now it's full again.
Yeah, now it's full again.
And it's fantastic. Everybody's mostly vaccinated, thank the Lord.
Right.
I am. I'm very happy about it.
Vaxxed. It makes it easy for a lot of things
Same.
done.
Yeah, be vaxxed.
And
Be
then
smart where you can, and just do what you gotta do.
Exactly.
right. And then the new rumor of WWE trying to be set up to be sold
Yeah.
is not going to happen. Is never going to happen. WWE is not selling, and if it is, they'll sell it to NBC. But who's dumb to get rid of their top wrestlers or some of their wrestlers right now before selling? If you do that, you're trying to buy $1 billion company, or you're trying to buy $100 million company. With $100 million company, you don't have your products. Your products are your wrestlers. If you lose your wrestlers, what do you have? It's like buying a sports franchise. You want LeBron James on a team, or you don't want LeBron James on a team. If I lose LeBron James, the product line, everything goes back down.
Yeah.
Then
Well, it was like the whole Bishop buying WCW thing, where he said
Right.
it was like, well, we'll sell you, we'll buy the product, but you don't get the TV. The product's worth
Right.
fucking $20 without the TV.
Right.
correct. So that was the whole entire thing.
Because his investors backed out the last minute.
Well, that was
Yeah.
because they couldn't get that stuff, and without that, there was no point in investing because the product wasn't worth anything without the TV.
Correct. The
The
TV
way
makes a lot of
WCW
money.
was, the product wasn't worth shit without the TV.
They basically would have been another ECW basically.
Well, but ECW had their shot as well too. When you hear the story, Shane McMahon trying to do ECW for YouTube would have been gold from back then to what it was right now. ECW would have stayed alive, but everyone forgets that they can make a contract where if it goes below a certain value, loses ratings, if it loses money, it can revert back to the Shane, Stephanie, and Triple H will be the three figureheads. And actually, there's a third family member. I think a third or fourth family members. Also, Shane's wife is a shareholder, and I think
Yeah.
there's the first child.
Oh wow!
People don't know about.
I remember Shane's wife.
Shane's wife is a WWE shareholder. So is the first daughter that has never been on TV or anything else, but there's a photo. So the oldest daughter as well too is also a WWE shareholder. They are not going to get rid of their shares. What they'll probably do is they'll sell to NBC, which will probably be the ones that's going to buy it.
If
and
anything.
NBC is the reason why they're on USA Network and stuff like that.
And on Peacock now, and that's why
and
I'm
they're
network. Yeah.
They'll sell to Peacock with a clause saying that if you want to sell, they sell back to the family at probably a quarter of the price, which will probably be in the clause if they sell.
That's if they
And
sell.
Yeah.
Tony, right. And
That's if they
Tony
sell.
Khan can run his mouth all day long and everything too. But Tony Khan himself, as president of AEW, doesn't even have a foot to stand on because his father, Daddy Warbucks himself, is the largest shareholder of AEW. So if he thinks that they're going to purchase AEW, if they're going to purchase WWE, I don't see Khan Sr. buying WWE.
I don't either.
He has a soccer
Yeah.
team, a football team, and he's got
Yeah.
AEW to worry about, and he's got his son running AEW.
Yeah.
WWE's never selling. They can switch a bunch of stuff as well too. But we also forget that they are working on WWE Egypt, and they have all the UK wrestlers, and eventually we're going to see a lot new faces and a lot new in the roster sooner than later.
Depending
Well,
on
in the
those deals are.
meantime, as of last night, I have stopped watching SmackDown and Raw. I'm going to stay with NXT and UK because I'm not happy with the way they're doing the products right now. I'm not happy with it, and that's my choice.
That's fine. I don't watch it either. But I watch, the only way I can watch AEW is the mute button because I don't like the commentary. Just put it on mute.
Terrible.
Enjoy the matches.
You what about Dark though? You don't think Taz and Excalibur are hilarious?
Taz and I got beef. This 13-year beef. Good for him wrestling. That's great. Thank you, Taz. A fine line of, oh my God, this is 8 championship belts running around AEW, and they barely change hands. So who's gonna be number one? And we're at the transition where Tony signs everyone to a quick 10-day contract, like as if they're pro basketball players, where they get a 10-day contract, 3 to 4 match contract, and then they're off to Impact, Major League Wrestling, or Ring of Honor land.
Well, pretty much even like Leo Rush, that was a one-off deal. He's still technically signed New Japan and MLW.
Right.
Or when they did
We saw it with Matt Cardona. Matt
now he's
Cardona
in
showed
Impact.
up. Oh my God, Matt Cardona's on W. He's back now. He's at Impact. So
He had 3
seeing that.
matches on AEW. 3 matches with.
But Big Show, same thing. We don't know their contracts. They're not going to say it. We'll see it down the line. Mark Henry, we'll see it down the line. We'll see. Was it Andretti? I forget his actual wrestling name.
El Idolo,
showed
the
up.
idol.
And what about
excited about
Cage? Is Cage there for the long haul?
Cage is for the long haul.
Yeah, Cage is there because they're finally letting. I think Cage went there because they're going to let him wrestle the schedule he wants. WWE won't let him do what he wants to do.
Right.
That's why a lot of them leave because there's certain wrestlers. That's why, like, if you the thing with AEW, and I love AEW. I'm the biggest AEW guy there is. But
Excuse me.
okay, next to
boy.
you. Okay, fine.
Oh boy.
Okay,
Oh,
Mister,
baby.
I jerk off every night to AEW.
So fucking degenerate, man.
And what's wrong with that? Wait, what?
Hey, listen. That's how I was going. My point was that. Listen, my point was that the thing with AEW is like what they really need, and I love the product, but what they need to do is they need to really keep focusing on the high-end indie guys, and build them up and make them credible. Like at first it was good. Yes, you had Chris Jericho as a champion because that was smart because you knew the next person that beat him was going to be the next big deal. The problem with AEW so far, now there's a problem with just what it is that you've had like the 3 biggest name guys in the company hold the belt. But again, the way Kenny Omega's doing things now, what they need to do is they need to get that next big indie guy to eventually beat him, and then that guy's made. Let's say Orange Cassidy beats Omega. That makes Orange Cassidy the next echelon.
Or
Right.
Jungle
It might
Boy.
be Jungle Boy.
Or exactly, or like Jungle Boy. And like,
As much as Jungle Boy would probably be the best thing, it would be better for him if he won the TNT title. But that was just a botch move that they did to have a Darby Allin lose to Miro, and Miro is a
it
great
does no value. But
Right.
again, but that's another point I was about to go into is that they're getting ex-WWE guys, but they're not getting the big names. They're getting like the middle of the road guys or like the tenured seasoned veterans. You're not getting the peak like top tier guys because the top tier guys are not going to leave WWE. Like, let's face it, Roman Reigns is never going to AEW.
Oh no, of course not. Neither does
Rollins is never
Rollins.
going to AEW.
Bobby Lashley isn't going to AEW.
No, none of them are. McIntyre will not go. None of them will go.
when you got your guys making like $500,000 to $1 million, as much as it's sitting in AEW can't afford to get them even at a quarter of the cost,
No.
which will mess up their value.
Exactly. Like even though AEW's got a lot of money behind it, they can't. They're very generous with their rates and salaries of wrestlers. They can't pay what WWE does. They just.
Oh no! Like for example, like they never get Lesnar. Tony Khan doesn't want, but even if Tony Khan wanted Lesnar, he wouldn't get him. He wouldn't be able to afford him.
You know how much money he would have to pay Lesnar to get him, and do they have the money?
And he wouldn't give Lesnar the schedule Lesnar won either. He wouldn't.
Could.
Tony
They
Khan would
could.
not shell out that money.
They
Jake
could get.
Hager.
No, they could get Lesnar
Not the same.
to have him against, let's just say, Brian Cage or some of the other bigger guys on the show.
Hager.
Brock Lesnar would not even go for it like one bit. And on top of that, he has the respect for WWE to go and build a match. Brock Lesnar, he's a beast. He loves he is a wrestling fan, but if he has to go wrestle an underdog, he's still going to make sure that that underdog looks good for him as well too. You think they're botched matches, not botched matches. Well, as far as the Braun Strowman run, that's a whole nother story. But
No, I'm saying I was about to say I disagree with that. Man, what happened with Ricochet last year in Saudi Arabia?
Ricochet was a whole.
Ricochet is just a poor example of everything because what they do at Ricochet is a complete horse shit.
No, I'm saying what that
I don't
that
like what they
freaking
do.
1 minute that match was only 1 minute.
Right, but that's Ricochet. You're getting a mid-card guy who's literally what 175 pounds soaking wet, where every wrestler can go pick him up and long dart him across the ring.
And he'll
Yeah.
squat
He
and sell
deserves
for it.
better, though.
I
He
love
deserves
Ricochet, but
better.
he'll sell for it every time.
That
Correct.
match could have been great, and they made that match, and he still hasn't recovered from that.
Right. So
Because
you're gonna
WWE
long
doesn't know
dart.
how to book Brock Lesnar against small guys. That's why the AJ Styles Lesnar match wasn't that great.
Actually, he
What about
can.
the Finn Balor
Brock Le-
match? That was a good
Brock-
one.
Brock Lesnar says one of his favorite matches was actually with Rey Mysterio,
I believe it.
because it was David versus Goliath. So the fact that he's able to run the ring with him and do moves that he's never done before is something that Brock Lesnar looks forward to. You can't get the type of, let's say,
No.
dedication out of the wrestlers. Who's going to commit to Brock Lesnar? Who's going to say Brock Lesnar comes in and I'm okay with getting the loss? No AEW, no Impact guy will take it. They'll do what WWE did back when they got NWA, and they'll kill the NWA product, and they did it very well. AEW will probably try to do the same exact thing to kill most of the WWE guys, but the WWE guys have their age like a good fine wine. You can't beat them. Christian Cage, a former NWA champion, a former World Heavyweight champion, you can't botch his matches. You can't make him lose. If Brock Lesnar comes in, former UFC champion, former WWE champion, you can't make the man lose.
No.
But then I don't. But you do realize AEW was kind of built on the back of a huge WWE guy.
They're still doing it. Their product is based on Jericho alone and Taz. Look at how things are done. Oh, the
Sure.
fact that half these guys were on NXT. Yes, Britt Baker did have a botch match against Nia
Forgot about
Jax.
that.
You know, people have seen that. Rebel has been part of the Mae Young
Dollhouse.
Classic.
And yeah,
yeah.
she's part of the Dollhouse and Impact as well, or TNA.
Yeah.
Right. So you have all this stuff. Well, she's still an Impact girl who does more for AEW. So she's still an Impact. So whatever the contract is, she's not wrestling in AEW. She'll probably go back to wrestle in Impact once those
You
days are
think
done.
so? I think she's doing so well in AEW right now. Then.
It
Whatever
depends
the
on what her
contract
deal is.
lies.
It depends
Right.
on what they're offering. You don't know. Again,
And-
everybody acts like these fans. Everybody acts like they fucking know everything behind the scenes, but the truth is, we don't know shit.
We don't
Look,
know shit,
not
but I'd
there.
like to think I'd like,
Talent
you
barely
know,
fucking knows, and that's the problem.
I don't even know, and I've been behind, and I've been backstage for WWE event. I've been at 4 WWE events. I don't even know. The thing is, sit there and enjoy the product. And who cares? Who cares?
Good
Watch
luck
it.
with
Is
that
it good?
nowadays.
Right. Oh my God, I'm gonna be an AEW fan, and I'm screaming ahead WCW because all this other stuff. But then yeah, you have WWE making poor decisions of foreign wrestlers. But how? But here's the best thing about companies. All right, you have the 4 other companies. How are they gonna rebrand or reproduct these wrestlers? WWE has had writers. They have product management. They have this whole arsenal of how they're gonna build another Mattel product line to make it work for them. While
Right.
AEW may have their new toy line, but how is that toy line?
Gonna
Or-
hold up with the other ones.
There's no storyline. If I need to watch another Spider-Man event, which WWE can, because they don't want anyone going to high scaffolding, and WCW is doing exactly what WWE didn't want to do anymore, was have anyone 80 feet in the air, and you're bringing it back. Fail number 1. We all lived. I watched Owen passing. Putting any wrestler 50 to 80 feet up is still a bad decision in my mind, because it takes one time it to be messed up. And God forbid it, I hope that never happens. But good luck to any wrestler that goes yet again going 50 to 80 feet up.
It's I get what you're saying, and it's a liability, and I get where you're getting with that situation. But it applies. Everything is different. But I get what you're saying with that exact one. You can't do it. Owen Hart died. That was the precedent.
Right. And then we got the Stone Cold Kurt Angle again when it came to the beer truck and the milk truck. We got the champagne truck happen, and the champagne truck never made it in the ring, and it was an attachment kind of aspect of it. This is all like, oh, it's great and all, but I relived it. Yeah, that truck never like hit the ring to kind of shake it, and you didn't really spray
It appeals
fans
to the
like
nostalgia fan. If you're a nostalgia fan, it's great, and I love it. I'm a nostalgia fan. I love it.
I love nostalgia too. Yeah.
I enjoy it. I don't complain about it, but I get what you're saying too. But again, on a grander audience, that's true. Me as a fan, me as a fan, I like that. I enjoy that. I love AEW. I'm going to watch the product, and I'm going to tell everybody it's a great product, but not everybody think like I do, and that's fine.
Yeah. Another thing is just the commentary. I just mute that because the matches, they're good matches, but when you go and rewatch, like go watch then mute the match for a second time, you'll notice the match is a lot better and a lot stronger than what you think for AEW.
I disagree. I love Shivani and Excalibur and how they go back and forth. I love it. I'm not a big JR guy right now.
No, JR botches too much. I like JR, but he botches too much.
Yeah. Tony Schiavone is the original Michael Cole. Let's call a spade a spade.
But Tony Schiavone is still calling as if he's still back in the WCW days, and he wants it to be. We're still waiting for Eric Bischoff to come in. We're still waiting for Ted Turner to get skinny again with the mustache to come back in and try to tell people how to do their jobs. Well, Eric Bischoff tells him, you know nothing about wrestling, Mr. Atlanta Man.
You forget he wasn't in, or maybe you remember, Schiavone was out of the business for a long time.
Schiavone was.
I mean, he had a stint
fired.
in Impact when Impact first came out. He had a stint with TNA.
Yeah, he was a heel, and it was hilarious. And I watched him bury Percy Pringle, who was like 600 pounds at that point. And Percy Pringle, the whole time he's listening to this freaking dated rant, and you just see Percy Pringle with that vibe on his face, like, I rolled out of bed for this bullshit. Why am I here? Oh yeah, paycheck. And then you never saw him again.
Yeah. Then
basically the whole.
You know, one thing I do like about what AEW does. Like with their B and C shows, like Dark Elevation. And once in a while, you get like an elite star on it. You'll get like a Moxley on there. You'll get like a Page on there. Like, good luck ever seeing Drew McIntyre on WWE main event. Good luck with that.
Yeah,
it's not designed.
Good luck
for
seeing
that.
a Bobby Lashley on WWE main event. Good luck.
No, you don't get that.
No, but
main event, what you get is you get the recap of their match on Monday.
Right. Or you get like a few extra matches or one of the dark matches to build up their extra character. Get what it was Saturday main event. We'll never have that again.
Yeah, well, that's what main event is, but it's basically what superstars used to be. It's basically you get the few undercards that have their matches to give them a little build, which has pretty much become Jeff Hardy, because now Jeff Hardy's apparently a jobber.
Right.
Jeff Hardy will eventually be in AEW and look for Brother Miro again.
He will be, because again, they'll jerk Jeff Hardy around because they don't want him to leave, because they know that he'll go with that, but they'll throw everything at him. They'll throw everything at Jeff Hardy to keep him because they don't want him to reunite the Hardy.
But he should
make him need to do. Like, what else is there left for Jeff Hardy to do at this point? The man's a Grand Slam champion.
Well, he could always resurrect Willow as in an AEW.
WWE will never resurrect Willow.
Yeah, that won't be happening.
No.
Not WWE, I'm saying if he goes to AEW.
He won't go to AEW unless WWE releases him, but he's too gold. You could literally put a mid-card title on him tomorrow and have the fans come back immediately. Any tag title.
Jeff Hardy's another one, kind of like a Chris Jericho in ways, where you could put him anywhere on the card, right? And you're not going to bat an eye over it. You're not going to be like, oh, that's bullshit.
Like Randy Orton, leave the product. You know how many times he was close to fired, and he ended up wanting to go to Impact and wanted to go to Ring of Honor.
I'll tell you right now, if anybody else would have done half the crap Orton did, they definitely would have been fired.
Right.
He got away with a lot of shit, yeah.
Right, like crapping in Divas bags.
Yep.
Those lovely stories.
Getting caught smoking weed backstage at a SmackDown taping.
Oh, that's not really that big a deal, but I get it.
Didn't he get didn't he get suspended for wellness shit anyway?
Yeah, twice. If he fails one more, he's done.
Yeah. He's got a bunch of them, actually. So He's been caught like
But
a bunch
again,
of times.
Rod, you act like the wellness policy is legitimate in WWE.
Oh, tell Roman Reigns that's not legitimate.
Roman Reigns got
Tell Roman Reigns that. The
What
biggest
about
star in the
what's his
company
name?
right now. The biggest
Adam
star
Rose
in
got
the company
sued because of
got
that.
busted. And you mean to tell me he's not legitimate? The biggest star in the company got busted on it.
Randy Orton should have been fired a bunch of times,
I agree.
and by the second or third time, they pretty much didn't even know what to do with him anymore. That became like a giant problem. When you have your superstar who got in trouble not once but like a bunch of times, they literally sent him home. And what is it? He was off TV for 2 years. People forget that he was off TV for a full year because they sent him home.
Remember what happened he almost caused an international incident when they were in England because freaking he trashed his hotel room. That's why
every
that.
When
superstar.
was it? When
That's
was
why
it?
that. Because remember when John Cena? It was like right after WrestleMania 23, when John Cena and HBK had like that 40-something minute match. That
Okay.
match was not supposed to go on that long, but they sent Orton home because they trashed his hotel room. He was supposed to fight Edge that night, but they sent Orton home because he trashed his hotel room, and he caused like thousands of dollars of
That was
damage.
supposed to be the rated RKO implosion, but they sent them home.
Yeah, so
And they
that's why that
scrapped
HBK John Cena match lasted like 47 minutes long.
That was
Because
when,
they was only supposed to go like 20 minutes, and then Orton and Edge was supposed to battle. But since they sent Orton home, they let HBK and Cena had to wrestle that for like 47 minutes because
I
of
forgot
that.
about that because that was, again, like I said, supposed to be the team rated RKO Fallout match. Because that's pretty much when they do super tag teams like that, it always results in the big match at Mania. That's the big payoff. I remember Legacy. What was the big payoff? The triple threat at WrestleMania. And you're all sitting there like, that was it? That was the angle? That was stupid.
You know what's funny? They did that match in one of the video games before it came to reality.
They did.
Really did. It was kind of like, you know what's funny? Like, say like
They did a lot of that in their video games, and then they test blasted because the people took well to the video games. Like, oh, we can do it in real life. That's why Suicide is a stupid character in Impact, because it was in the stupid TNA game.
You mean Matic? He has like 15 names.
Whatever fucking name he goes by this week, because no one watches
Suicide
TNA.
Matic.
right down over there.
Butthole.
Bring back Shark Boy. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Hey, and that's the
Bring back
fishing line
Shark Boy.
because Shark Boy said so.
Oh,
One of the better
yeah,
characters TNA ever had was Shark Boy.
Shall
Quick question.
we-
Anybody watching the NWA pay-per-view tomorrow, or is it just me?
Probably just you. I guess.
I might. Well, no, I can't. I just spent. I spent a lot of money this week.
Time I'm watching WA pay-per-view is a Billy Corrigan, aka Smashing Pumpkins, play the intro. But
Well,
I'm surprised
It's a legit good. They got a legit good card though.
Especially
Because it's gonna be good seeing Kylie Ray back after like how many months of being away.
She's gonna have another
Yeah,
nervous
she's gonna be at the
breakdown and then
pay-per-view.
leave NWA too.
Oh, will you stop? You're
What
horrible.
did
You know,
say?
you're absolutely horrible. You know that.
What did
but I'm gonna say
Horrible.
poor.
Her and Terry Terrell teaming up to face Melina and Thunder Rosa.
She's working heel, or is
Thunder
I don't
Rosa's
know.
Melina's the face.
Yeah,
Just
so
say,
I don't know if Kylie Ray's heel or not, but she's teaming up with Terry Terrell. So.
isn't Taryn Terrell heel in
Wait
NWA
a
right now?
minute.
Yeah.
That makes no
I don't like-
sense. I
I
thought
keep
she
tabs
was
on
in an
NWA, but I
angle
don't
with
watch
what's
it.
her name? I thought she was in an angle with Camille.
Yeah, but Camille's fighting Serena D for the women's title.
I thought it was going to be a triple threat.
Oh no,
I might have to
I thought
watch this
it-
tomorrow.
because Melina, because
Yeah,
remember,
right.
Thunder Rosa didn't win the match, but
I
she
actually
didn't
love
lose either. It was a
NWA. I
draw.
don't keep up with it as much as I should.
It was a
Because I do
draw.
love the
Thunder Rosa's signed to
nostalgic feel of
AEW
NWA.
now?
It's so good.
The what?
Thunder Rosa signed to AEW.
No, last time I checked, she's still NWA contract.
She's technically under contract with NWA. She's just
WA.
Now she's challenging for the women's title in AEW.
and NWA.
Right,
She was
but
both.
they had
she's still under contract. Well, they're doing a lot of crossovers. That's all those episodes
was-
we've done.
so AEW made a deal with NWA that because they weren't on TV, they get to borrow some of the wrestlers to give them wrestling time. Some of the guys went for it, some of them did it. So if you noticed, a lot of them are the mid-card guys. All the top billers, remember, Impact AEW doesn't have a lot of money. So who they get? The mid-card guys. Who didn't they get? They didn't get Nick. They didn't get the US champions, and they didn't get like a lot of the guys. They got a lot of mid-carders.
Yeah, they didn't get Pope.
Impact.
They didn't get Kratos or Stevens.
Impact was a TV deal because if you look at it, 3 wrestlers from Impact went to AEW, and 3 wrestlers from AEW went to Impact. It wasn't a great thing, but it was a TV deal.
But exactly, it was like a TV trade. Exactly.
So that's what it is. And someone's
It's
gonna say,
basic-
"Oh, you're wrong. Look at the writing on the wall and who was
Exactly.
on TV during that time." It's
What do you think of what both companies have been doing with New Japan? AEW and Impact.
New Japan is a different kind of deal, but I like what they're doing.
One thing right now, but yeah, there's a lot of turmoil right now going on in New Japan. Things aren't exactly rosy over there right now either.
Well, New Japan
because
is getting
Tony Khan's-
slammed because of the newest COVID outbreak. Because unfortunately, in Japan, with their population, they don't have the same access to the vaccines that we do. So that's
Right.
why things aren't so good. That's why even Dominion's card on Monday is for me and Dominion's like my favorite event of the year, and that's like the one I look forward to. It's kind of a lackluster, almost disappointing card because it's the same people wrestling over and over again because they're the only ones available. You got to remember that 90% of New Japan are gaijins, and they all are back home.
right.
That's
What
why you're
happened
seeing the
to
same people over and over again.
David Finley versus Jay White. Isn't that supposed to happen? And it looks like they buried that.
We'll see
Because of the
look
COVID.
at-
They didn't know
You
Jay
what
White
they'll
had
do with
Rona.
that?
I thought
What
Jay
they'll
White
either
had
do-
Rona.
right.
What
And
they'll
you
do
also-
with Jay White and David Finley is either one of two things. Either because I heard both of them had COVID. Actually, I think they.
Okay. I know. I was gonna say I know. I heard Jay White did.
I think Finley had it too, and that's why you don't really see. That's why Finley hasn't done much on Impact either.
Well, they lost the titles too in Impact. So
Yeah.
Who did they lose him to? Like I said, I don't watch Impact like that.
Rhino cashed in his Koya shot trophy a
Oh,
couple weeks
okay.
ago.
So, but anyway, going back to my thought, yeah, I think Jay White had COVID, so he's probably home quarantining, or he's probably resistant to go back to Japan with the state of Japan. So if they do anything with Finley and Jay White, it'll probably be on Strong if they even do anything on Strong.
We'll have Moxley because the U.S. title's still sitting in the U.S. right now, and everyone went back to Japan after Moxley was in Japan. They allowed him to bring the title back.
Yeah, they
And
finally.
he's
At first, they weren't
defending
allowing
on
that.
Strong,
I was surprised when they did that.
Right, because they need a TV rating. So if they're not going to have a bunch of matches in Japan, and a lot of the U.S. wrestlers
their
can't go
American
back and
guys,
forth.
They're going to use Strong as their ratings play. Exactly.
Correct.
That's why, if you notice, they're really starting to build Strong up and want to have their Americanized side of
Right.
Japan, which is
And
funny
if
because
they-
if you watch New
Strong.
Japan, Strong. If you watch Strong, it doesn't come off like a New Japan show at all.
People are going to get a kick out of this one now because if the rumors are true and WWE has made a deal with New Japan,
Right?
Moxley can come back into WWE ring.
He could.
Yep, if the
Technically,
rumors are true. I mean,
Kind of
not
both. You're right.
even-
He could work. That could work. Yeah.
He could work both. He'd be
Yeah,
the
right
only
now
wrestler.
right now it's just rumors, but
It's
I
But-
thought Tony's Khan squashed those rumors.
not
No.
with Japan. No.
Oh,
Not with WWE in New Japan. No.
no.
who are they gonna listen to more? A company that's been around for like I don't know 50 years of their
yeah,
lifespan,
I get what
to
you're
a
saying.
company just 2 or 3 years, to a
Yeah.
company, to Shane McMahon creating an on-demand channel for
Well-
Japan and China. Who are they gonna? I mean,
Yeah, I get you.
it's not rocket
Again, on a big business level, honestly, you don't know what to believe because no one knows anything. Again, we don't know anything. We
Yeah,
know
we
we're
don't.
here and we don't know the full story. But the point is that, again, I love AEW, but on a big name, big business level, the New Japan and WWE is the big business transaction, not AEW New Japan. It's a great partnership, but it's not the big business partnership.
Well, aren't they
Compare.
planning on doing like an NXT Japan too?
That was rumored. Again, that's all.
Yeah.
It's all rumored. It's the same way they've been discussing in NXT India for years, and it still hasn't
Right.
come to fruition.
well, they do. NXT India is still happening. They're still training. You see a lot of the
Yeah, well,
the
that's why they had
Instagram posts,
that
and
India
everything.
show, yeah, and which was awesome. I'm excited for that. And
Yeah.
you know that the reason why they're not utilizing Jinder Mahal is because eventually they're going to send him there for that, and he's going to be the focal point of that. The same way.
I also heard that
Jinder will be
him and Drew about to start feuding gender.
No, they're probably putting a tag team for a hot minute. If they feuded, that's probably the worst idea to feud Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre. When
because
you
you're killing both.
man
Their
band,
it does no good for either of them.
correct.
If they're going with that route for Jinder, it gives him no credibility. You need to make, if you're going to make Jinder the poster, like the focal point of an NXT India, you can't make him look weak. He's got to put everybody over going into India.
You can't
But
have
it's
him also
WWE,
fight Drew
WWE, so I
McIntyre.
can see them doing just that.
Right, but if they do it, they
WWE
botch.
though.
Yeah, but if they do that, WWE will hurt Drew McIntyre's credibility. And on the bandwagon of three-man band, when you had Heath Slater come in and they played the three-man band song when Drew McIntyre finally won the WWE title. And if you do that, you hurt a possible tag team setup or any type of thing. When you hurt the tag team division like that, you hurt ratings and you hurt the storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Because
that's
I
You got-
actually heard that before Jinder got hurt, he was set for a major push last year before he got hurt.
Right, but going through Drew McIntyre to go get Bobby Lashley or whoever is the other champion will
okay.
hurt. Will just hurt it. Will just hurt even more.
No,
If
it's
you
true.
have a faction, go through everyone but Drew McIntyre, and he becomes that one untouchable. He's like the one friend who's like part of NATO, but you don't go near him.
No,
Part of
exactly.
the
No,
United
I
States don't
agree
go
with you, but unfortunately, the WWE writers won't agree with you.
Yeah, and if they
again,
do
I have my
that,
opinions about WWE writers. They're freaking idiots, but that's just my personal opinion, and
They
that's
are.
why.
we're
That's why
writing
Jay
better.
is not watching Raw and SmackDown anymore, Mister. I don't watch Raw and SmackDown anymore because I'm getting pissed off watching it.
Remember, AEW has no storyline, so they can't even leave the country to go
Why do
to
you,
go do a
what do you
story.
mean they don't have a storyline? What do you call everything that's been going on? Like the heat between Miro and Kip, which started the whole wedding, which was from
Happened.
best friends.
Just
But these
happened.
are stories, though. But how can you say there are no storylines when there are actually stories going on?
There's when you have
It's
two
different
matches
kind of
and you have the
storytelling.
pay-per-view
I
when
get
there's
what
no
you're
build.
saying. I get where both of you are coming from, and I'm actually agreeing with both of you and kind of congruently because, like, there is storytelling, but it's not storytelling in the way that like it should be for what they're trying to be. Like AEW is so because of who's running it. You have the Bucks and Omega running
Right.
it, and you have guys whose careers are known for making their stories out of their matches. Their matches tell their stories. Their hype and their promos don't tell their stories. It's their matches that tell their stories.
And
Even
they're also
Cody
geared for
kinda, like,
TV.
even
Those
Cody
stories
Rhodes
are geared for
kinda
TV.
teeters on that. Cody
Yeah.
Rhodes is probably the best entertainment storyteller of all of them because of his legacy and his experience. But even Cody's stuff kind of teeters on that. It's still the matches tell the stories more than like the promo and the interviews and all that stuff. It is storytelling, so it is
And
storytelling.
there is a story going on still with the Nightmare Factory versus the Factory.
But they're not doing it in an entertainment style way. Like again, you guys got to remember, a company like New Japan is a sports company. WWE is an entertainment company. New Japan guys are wrestlers. WWE guys are entertainers.
Entertainers, superstar, yeah.
You know, and AEW is kind of in the middle. They're trying to do the entertainment thing, but the way they're running it, they're still focusing more on the wrestling, where you have the hype of the promo, but the wrestling tells a story. Where what Ash is saying is that they don't tell stories because they don't have that build up the way WWE does the build up. That's what I think he means. If I'm wrong, please cut me off.
No, you're absolutely right because what AEW is good at, if you want to watch it on their TV stories, great, perfect. But when it comes to pay-per-view and they go from like match to match, I'm so confused of who's in the main event and two people I never heard of. The fact that you had Orange Cassidy, Kenny Omega, and I forget who the third person was for pay-per-view,
Pac.
and Pac. There was no build. Pac was been on TV for a while. All of a sudden,
Story
he's
was the early '90s WCW story. Remember they had the power rankings in WCW? That's what it is. Because
right.
they were the top two ranked contenders. It's let's have a match, and that's your story.
Right.
It's the competition is the story.
Right.
So there was, but to Jay's point, it is a story. It's not like an entertaining, compelling story, but it's a story in its own right.
Right. And granted, you're starting it on the pay-per-view. You should start it on TV for the greater build on the pay-per-view to have a great finish to it.
Now, Ash, I'm surprised also that you haven't noticed, or maybe you did, just in bringing it up, that the way AEW does their stories, especially bringing in the Impact, it reminds me, I don't know about you, but it reminds me of like comic books when they do those annual, like the invasions, where every comic book, you have to buy every comic book because it connects to a story.
You mean the crossovers?
Crossovers. Well, I see that with like when you watch Dark, into Dark Elevation to Dynamite, they kind of go together. Even some of the stuff on BTE, and then the crossovers with Impact. It's like I'm reading a comic book. It's like I have to buy all the books for the story to make sense. That's what it feels like.
Sort of, but comic book writing is a little bit detailed. These aren't detailed. When your action sequence in a comic book is like a nice straight cross hook, and your AEW wrestler can't even do a right hook, let alone can't even do a drop kick. So there's a huge difference between storylines and stuff. This isn't like Ninja Turtles and Batman,
This is in
where
Justice League meets Power Rangers in the comic books, which
That would
I'm
be
gonna see if
cool.
I can find it because I think I have it.
right,
I got to start going props, guys.
I have it somewhere as well too.
Yeah, I got one of these
isn't
An ex-girlfriend of mine bought me this comic book box, and it came
right.
in it.
You know, I
Like,
actually
it
have that
is.
DVD, Ninja Turtles Meet
Oh,
Batman. I
Yep,
actually got that
Power Rangers
DVD.
Justice League.
Yes.
There it is. But
Sweet.
this is basically what we're getting with wrestling when you get like the whole crossover shit if it's done right.
Hold on a second.
Have you read it, or are you going to leave it in its sleeve?
I've read it.
It's
Good.
okay.
It's
okay.
all right. It's cheesy. It's basically the Power Rangers basically get sucked into the DC universe basically.
Right. And if you want something like interesting, is the fact that that's all WWE writers right there too, because
It
Boom
is
Studios
actually.
is
I've
under
actually seen,
WWE.
no, if you actually go to
Did
WWE Comics,
Bandai have to? What was the name of Power Rangers company? Sinclair
Sedan
or
or
Sedan? So did they have to
Saban.
get the rights?
Saban, right? Saban. Sedan is the type of
No,
car.
at this point in time, they were under Nickelodeon, so they had to get the rights from Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Well, this I don't know who wrote this, but I know this was presented by Nerd Block because that was the
That's
comic.
from so the Power Rangers line is from Boom Studios, and then they have the same one
There you go, right there.
right there, bro.
There it is.
The cover. He's got
Now,
the movie. I
Ninja
got the book.
What
You got the
company
book,
is Ninja Turtles now DC?
No, this is IDW. This is the smaller apparel company of Marvel, and this is DC. What he had was Boom Studios, which is the small company for DC with actual DC products. You
All
gotta
right, so
keep
how did they get the rights
with
to
Hexer.
Batman then?
crossovers.
Crossovers.
They make a quick deal.
Two companies working together, kind of like AEW and Impact.
This
Impact,
started back in 1994 to 1996, where the federal government got involved. They created a third-party company to have the infamous Marvel versus DC, and after that, it became a thing.
You do realize what's funny? It's like if you have read any of the Marvel versus DC books, and I don't mean the comics, I mean like the legit wars that's gone on between them. It's kind of funny. Like it reminds me of the Monday Night Wars.
Yeah, except they made it even. Except Marvel and DC even down
It was
the middle.
balanced. Again, I was thinking about this thing because actually I had my Justice League shirt on. I was thinking I was getting ready for work, so I'm like, who would win in the core like group of the Avengers and the core group of the Justice League? And I actually had it pretty much even.
Right.
Because I figured either Iron Man would Thor would finally kill off Superman, because it would either be that somehow Tony Stark would be involved either way. It would be Tony Stark's suit would be of kryptonite and it would kill Superman, or Tony Stark would help Thor put kryptonite on the hammer and would kill Superman that way. They're the
You
only two
think
that
Thor could injure him because Thor's a god? So do you think he could injure him?
Thor would actually beat him hands down just based on the
because
hammer
of a god
alone.
like that makes sense too.
Because he is a god and he has the hammer and lightning. So Superman's also, which they never talked about, was Superman was also
Didn't
vulnerable
Hulk
to
beat
lightning.
Superman though?
They
What
were
happened?
tied. We're tied.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Now, if Doomsday was
Well-
able to beat Superman without kryptonite, Thor could probably beat Superman without kryptonite.
Didn't Doomsday tie? Didn't him and Superman tie?
No, Doomsday killed Superman.
Doomsday killed Superman.
I
then
thought they
Superman
killed
comes
each
back.
other.
Doomsday killing Superman. You know the
I know,
cover
but
where
I thought they
Superman dead
killed
in
each
Lois Lane's
other.
arms. That was dead Superman. That was Doomsday.
Yeah, I know, but then they killed each other though, didn't they?
Then Superman comes back, and then kills Doomsday. So he hits his new level, almost like Dragon Ball Z. He levels up to a whole new level, then he goes and kills Doomsday, and literally destroys Doomsday.
Oh, so Doomsday
stronger
won
than
round
before.
1, and then Superman took round 2. Oh, I always
Right, kinda
thought
like
they
that.
killed each other.
Oh,
Okay.
and you know what totally ripped that off in wrestling? When
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes beat Luke Harper, Brody Lee for the TNT title, where he dyed his hair black because that was supposed to symbolize the death of Superman. It was supposed to be that fucking angle. He turned
that
that
was
as
the
an angle. Hey,
Yeah.
speaking of storytelling, there's like your best storytelling of like entertainment. That
And then
AEW
he
did.
dyed his hair blonde again, and he looks
because he
like a
wants
Super
to be Dusty
Saiyan.
Rhodes.
I want Cody and Nick to go for one more title run for the NWA title.
Me too.
We already saw us 1-1. It's already 1-1,
Right.
and I think they shouldn't have it in an AEW ring or an NWA ring. I think they should do it in a New Japan ring. That would be
Something different. I'd be into
Take my
that.
money. I'm down.
I'd be into that. That'd be
Take
amazing.
my money. I'm down.
I would take that.
But I'm not gonna lie though. Speaking of that, there are a lot of people who are saying that there's a good chance Murdoch could be freaking oldest tomorrow. Murdoch's hot right now. I don't know if you
I
guys
love
been
Trevor
paying
Murdoch.
attention
It's a
to
shame that,
NWA or not, but there are a lot of people who believe Murdoch can possibly be oldest tomorrow.
I don't see why not.
He's been around for years. He knows the business. I mean, shoot, the man was a former tag team champion for WWE and is a former US champion for the NWA. He knows how to carry a company and be a leader. That's the other thing though too. If you want to see a wrestler, look at who can be a leader in and out of the ring. A lot of these guys are not that. They're not the guys to like literally follow. Like, would you follow most of these guys like out of the ring? Would you like follow them into their careers or where they're going for? That's where you find the true superstars, the true champions in wrestling.
Yeah, who are you going to be invested in company to company?
Yeah. Like if Nick left NWA, would you watch him in WWE or would you
Probably
watch him
not.
in NWA? I mean, in AEW. Or would you watch him in Impact?
Well, I mean, I
he
think
was pretty good at Impact. He was decent at Impact. I mean,
I was going to say he
the
may
first
go
British
back
world
to
champion.
Impact.
Right.
He was the first British world champion.
Right. So he did win the TNA World Heavyweight title. So that's one. He's currently NWA champion.
In
That's
the second reign.
That's
right.
two. Honestly, I'd rather see him in Ring of Honor and have honest matches in Ring of Honor because I feel like that's a better fit for him than, going to either. Because again, Nick Aldis is more of a wrestler's wrestler. He's not like, to me, an entertainment guy.
Yeah.
He's not a guy that you're going to see do an angle and cut a promo. He's going to be that guy, like, I want to wrestle the best in the world. I want to have a good challenge and a good fight. I don't care about the begrudging somebody. I don't care that they are hitting on my girl. Like, you don't care about that.
Okay. So here's the thing. Could you see Nick wrestling against Jericho for the NWA title or Kenny Omega? Or could you see Nick?
I can see him and Jericho going at it. I can see it.
I could see Omega and Aldis too.
Or could you see him in WWE wrestle Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins?
I see the first one, not the latter.
Yeah.
I don't see that.
You don't see that.
I think he try to get.
You want to know why? You want to know why you wouldn't see the second one? I was just reading about this. Apparently, him and Bruce Pritchard have heat with each other. So Pritchard wouldn't get him pushed.
Okay.
Because apparently, what happened was right after EY beat him for the championship, they're trying to renegotiate his contract.
Right.
And what Pritchard was trying to do was give him 3 more years back the same amount of money. And Aldis is like, hold on, you're trying to think that 3 years I'm gonna be worth the same amount of money then as I am now. So then he went to Dixie about it.
Mm-hmm.
And Pritchard got mad that he went over his head and went to Dixie about it. And they exchanged words, and to this day they still don't like each other.
But Bruce Pritchard's made a career out of that because Bruce Pritchard's the kind of guy that.
Right, I'm just saying. If you go to WWE, he's running exactly. Raw. So if Aldis gets sent to Raw, you'll be lucky if you see Aldis on main event.
Right, and it'll probably be like what the current Shinsuke Nakamura and Bobby Rhodes is going through right now, former champions of New Japan and actually NXT. And the other one being a former champion for TNA and also NXT, and they still haven't seen a World Heavyweight bout since.
They haven't. They're stuck in those tag teams with mid cards. They're just.
Right. You don't want Nick Aldis on ROH anyway.
Why is that?
Do you really want that code of honor required asshole calling his match?
Oh God! Will you stop?
I'm going to talk like this, and then I'm going to be mad because the bad guy is breaking the rules.
Will you stop?
I hate
That's actually a very good Ian Riccaboni. I would to that.
Code of honor required, or whatever he said.
That's literally what he does, though.
Then we're going to go and talk like this.
Is like the bipolar ring announcer.
I cannot stand him.
It's like watching Mauro Ranallo light.
Right.
Oh my God! Don't get me started on Ronaldo.
You mean with his pop culture? You mean with his pop culture references?
I actually like Ronaldo though. I got everybody like whatever. I actually like Ronaldo.
So do I.
I mean, the pop culture references.
He has a passion for the business.
My favorite commentator of all time is still Mike Adamle.
Oh God!
Oh, ew!
What?
Hey, I'm a mark for Jeff Harvey. All right.
Oh my God, such a degenerate.
You guys
Oh,
laughed. but
only
it
thing,
actually
only thing
wasn't
was
wrong.
his commentary stint was his GM stint.
Actually, you guys laughed, but there was a match on WWF Superstars like 1993 where he actually was Jeff Harvey. So he really wasn't wrong.
Oh my God.
Was
Just
what
bring
did they
back
call
Todd Pettengill. That's
the
all I care about. Just bring
matches?
back Todd
Hash?
Pettengill.
You probably
Again, you might want to watch
Todd Pettengill.
NXT in your house because he's hosting it. If you want Todd Pettengill.
In your house, huh? What was that thing called? Adam Lee Original? What
Yeah,
was
the
the-
original. That was great. I
original.
love that. Great GM. Great GM.
Oh yeah.
Almost as good as the anonymous one under the ring named Hornswoggle.
Oh God.
How about Brad Maddox as the
That was
GM?
Great. He was fantastic.
No, I'm good.
No, my
We're gonna
favorite
tell
GM
me
of all time-
next. You was happy
No,
with
if
People
you wanna
Power
go with
next.
GMs, you got to go with the best one ever, People Power, Johnny.
Oh, I knew it. I was
Johnny
waiting for it.
Laryngitis.
Oh, speaking of his rival in his storylines and comic books,
Yes, I was gonna say, Mr. CM Punk.
I thought
Favorite.
Cena was more of his rival too. Well, Cena's the one who ended his GM career.
Well, it was both of them actually, because it wasn't until CM Punk mentioned his brother on TV,
I'm reading
and then
through this.
John Cena put the icing on the cake. So you know, pipe bomb her around the world, and then John Cena just went, "You forget what CM Punk told you? Yeah, you're still a nobody, bro. You're still on your brother's coattails."
No, I would never forget that when they had that match. I forgot what pay per view it was. I think it was over the limit 2012. And he put the headset on him. He's like, "Oh, hey Booker, how you doing?" And Lauren and I was like, "Fight hard, fight hard, fight hard." That crap had me crying, laughing.
Oh man.
I was actually at that pay per view too when he beat Laurinaitis and when he beat Big Show and ended Laurinaitis. I was actually at that pay per view in Jersey.
So Todd over here travels to all the show to travel to all these wrestling events. RJ, man, what are you up to, man? Rod's just everywhere. Mr.
I know.
Florida.
Well, dude, I've been living my life, man.
If I lived in Florida, I would be at AEW Arena once a month if I could buy tickets.
If I'm able
I'd be
to,
going
I'll
to
take my
AEW all
kid.
the time.
What about
Go to
NXT?
see a show.
Go to Orlando.
I'd go. I would combine.
Can't be an
I would
arena yet.
personally. If I lived
No.
by you guys, I would be like every other event I went to, either be an NXT or an AEW.
No, NXT is still doing
I
their.
mean, truthfully, yeah, man. Now that I'm vaccinated, I'll probably go to Jacksonville see a match. I'll probably go.
Yeah, next time we better see pictures of Mr. J over here, at the next AEW event, taking pictures.
I would love to.
You're gonna get actual footage of Radio J with every Britt Baker.
He do with the card. Totally no, it's with the cardboard cutout or the shrine wall that they have when you walk into the arena.
Question is, how am I going to react when I see Riho?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jay, you're just still mad that Rio turned you down for that date or something.
Basically.
I've never seen somebody hate on a women's wrestler.
I don't like the character
no real
of
reason
Riho.
other than you. I've never seen somebody hate on a women's wrestler for no reason aside from you the way you hate on
Basically.
Riho. I told you why. Because of what she did to Britt Baker. Character.
Here we go.
Character. That's the character. Like I said, if I saw Riho in real life, I'd probably hang out with her or whatever, but the fan does not like her.
Please don't make a dentist appointment to go see her. Please don't do that person.
I know he's going to.
He do it too. He would do it too.
And then he's going to be bitter at Britt Baker because she turned him down the same way Rio did.
No, it'll probably be somebody else like cleaning the teeth because this fool walks in with a Britt Baker shirt and I'm going, nope, get someone else to clean this guy's teeth.
No, I wouldn't do that.
So
he'd be a mark.
I feel like I'm still learning out of his comments. Because I love how
I was leaving Tampa.
And I remember that I have this crappy comic too. I'm at it.
Oh, sweet. But before I forget, I got to say this. I was coming home from Tampa in February, visiting my friends in Tampa, and I realized Britt Baker's office was probably on the way home. I was thinking about stopping by, but then I'm like, you know what? I don't have an appointment. It's a real job. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna be that
I mean, I
fan.
could use the teeth cleaning. I'm screwed. I gotta go to a periodontist. My gums are
I
fucked.
finally did go to a
Hey,
dentist
if you can't
4
get
years.
bread, I know a good a dentist named Isaac Yankum who will hook you up in no time.
Yeah,
Oh boy,
okay.
Glenn Jacobs, my guy.
You
Glenn
could probably
Jacobs.
go to Winter Park. You live closer to Winter Park than I do, Rod. She has a
Yeah.
practice.
I got
I
a
go
guy, I got a girl that clean your teeth. It just won't be great. It'd just be out of the corner somewhere, but you know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, different parts of Brooklyn, that's a thing apparently.
But,
Please don't do that ever. Please,
I
God.
think
I
I
don't
have.
want to watch.
So I've been looking through my old VHSs of wrestling. I think this one of them has an Isaac Yankovic. Oh yeah, it does. So I have a gem VHS. I'm going to point out
Yes,
because
let
we're
me see,
talking
let me see.
about because we're talking collectors and we brought Isaac Yankum. There is 1,000% a Bret Hart versus Isaac Yankum match on this VHS.
I
The one-
saw that match, by the way,
It was
live.
the one where Jerry Lawler was in the thing on
One of
top
those.
and he had the
The
nose
shark
bleed in the middle of
cage.
it. Yeah.
I'm
Also,
pretty sure I saw Isaac Yankum wrestle Bret Hart in a live match in Nassau Coliseum, and I remember being disappointed because he didn't have the blonde hair.
Well, yeah, and then also they botched the match on TV that actually ended up happening on the live show, and it never happened again.
The video of this is a gem because it's the one where Lawler has the nosebleed. Also, random on this, the in your house casket match between Undertaker and Mabel.
Yep. I remember
By the
that.
way, we're talking about amazing matches now.
Oh yeah,
So
that was
this says amazing
wasn't that
matches.
supposed to be? I forgot what the December in your house. I forgot what was that.
That was it was a December one. It's December '95. It was
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm gonna go down this. I'm gonna go down this entire list of most amazing matches because in hindsight, I don't think any of these matches were actually any good.
Is that the match where he crushed his face?
No.
No.
That was like happened on the
that was
Raw.
after
That
that.
happened
That
on
was
the
after.
Raw.
That was the retribution where he got the urn back when Kama turned it into the chain. And you
Yeah.
just hear Paul Bearer the whole time. The urn. The whole match. It's the whole match.
That's a good Paul Bearer, by the way. I might have to now call you Chucky Bearer.
Right.
So this tape has ridiculous matches on it. It has the grudge match between Razor Ramon and the 1-2-3 Kid. I'm pretty sure it was a crybaby match.
Oh wow.
Funny match, but not actually a good match.
No, but it
That
was
was
supposed to be.
stupid.
Bret Hart
that was
versus
cool.
Jerry the King Lawler. I'm pretty sure it was a kiss by foot match.
Oh,
Funny
okay.
match,
Oh,
but
where he
not a
made him
good
kiss
match.
his own
Yes.
foot. That was
No,
Yankovic.
this was when
Oh, no,
that was
came
when
after.
Bret Hart like covered his feet in something, and Jerry the King Lawler had to like eat it. I think it was covered in
Yeah.
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 It was basically Jerry Lawler trying to emulate.
No, he
Athlete's
made
foot.
him eat his own foot. He
Right?
made him kiss his own foot.
Yeah, he made him kiss his own foot, and the whole promo was him after
Right.
it was him in the backstage.
But this was
mouthwashing it out.
after. But this was after the pay-per-view. This was okay. So going back to that one, there was a botch match. Originally, it was supposed to be. Remember, it was
Right.
it was the Kings match, whatever. The Hart family versus Shawn Michaels
In
and
the nights.
and the Knights or whatever. Or it was Shawn Michaels and it was like
Oh,
Doink the
yeah.
Clown and like everything else. Then it turned into a botch match where it was Jerry the King Lawler. It was Jerry the King Lawler. It was so messed up. It became. It changed from Shawn Michaels to Jerry the King Lawler to
The other way
Doink the
around.
Clown.
The other way around.
It wound. Oh, you're talking about '93 Survivor Series where it was Shawn Michaels with the Knights.
Yeah. Shawn
Yeah, and remember
It
they
was
had to
supposed
do
be
that
Lawler,
last
but I
minute
think
thing
Lawler was injured or
Michaels.
whatever.
They had to do that last minute thing with Michaels, you know,
So bad.
insulting his family just to make the
Oh
match
no,
work.
I'm thinking about the Jerry the King Lawler and his little mini me,
Oh,
and it was Doink the
Legacy
Clown with like his
Doink.
mini me's
Oh,
and
okay.
stuff.
against the four Doinks. I remember that.
Yeah.
That was Survivor Series
He
'94.
thinks.
Yeah.
Doinks and
Doink, Wink,
Dinks.
Pink, and
Dink,
Things.
Wink, and Pink.
Yeah. I remember that.
Let's see what else.
That was
Undertaker
funny.
Mabel casket match, which you discussed, was on that. Not a good match. The story told in that match, but again, just going back to storytelling, is that it actually had a fucking story.
Yes.
As stupid as it was a fucking story. He stole the Undertaker's urn, turned it into a chain, and wore it as a necklace. And then,
Well, that's Kama though. You said
That's
Mabel.
Kama.
Yeah.
Mabel's different.
but no, but it was
Mabel
but,
after King of the Ring.
But somehow Mabel had gotten the chain urn in that.
Was that it? All right.
Yeah,
At
because
the
somehow
time-
Mabel was wound up with the chain urn.
Was that the time Godfather or Kama got injured and they had to finish the storyline and stuff like that?
I think so. It was like late '95.
Asked him when they had a chance.
I remember
Also-
Mabel when he busted up 6 for Heels, he literally almost got fired for it.
Yeah.
Hell,
And
after
also, the best
SummerSlam
match of all
'95, he almost
time
got
is on this
fired.
tape.
What is it?
Hunter Hearst Helmsley versus Henry O. Godwin in a hog pen match.
Oh
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah,
I saw
Yes.
that one. I
Yes.
remember that one.
And the
Yes.
other gem of this tape, it had top secret codes and strategy tips from WrestleMania, the arcade game.
Oh yes,
Hey,
love that game.
I had that game too.
I have it
know
for
it.
PS1.
I had
But
it
if
for
you guys want to
Super
know where
Nintendo.
wrestling really got ruined for me as a fan, I'm going to bring this one. I'm going to tell the story now.
Yes.
Okay.
This
Can't
is
wait
a
to hear
gem of a
this.
VHS. This probably goes for a lot of money, or it goes for nothing. WrestleMania 2. Hogan.
Good.
What?
This was actually a good
It
pay-per-view.
was actually a great pay-per-view. Actually, the Hogan Bundy match was actually a really good match. But that's the match that also exposed wrestling for me. And I'm about to ruin fandom for everybody. So people out there, I'm
Cheers.
All right,
sorry.
here we go with the story.
I probably
Here we
know this,
go.
but let's
I
do it
probably
anyway.
told the story, but I don't think Hash has heard this story. I probably told you guys this story, Patrick. So we all have seen the Hulk Hogan.
First off, before you get to that, what was on the card? Because I'm kind of
Okay,
I
so we'll
forgot
run
who
down the card.
card.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this is the one where they're the big battle royal with all the NFL guys.
I'm going to
And all the WWF
move
guys.
away from the phone for a minute. You guys were saying?
All right, when Jay gets back, I'll tell the full story, but I'll run down the
No,
card.
tell it now. I can hear you. I just have to walk to
got
the
it.
other side of the room.
All right. So this is also the three arena WrestleMania.
Okay.
So the main event in Los Angeles Sports Arena was Hulk and Bundy. The Chicago Rosemont Horizon was the big battle royal with Andre the Giant and the Hart Foundation, all the NFL guys. That was the whole William the Refrigerator Perry, Big John Studd, the whole, like the year after the Super Bowl shuffle and all that bullshit, Rod's favorite fucking song on the planet.
Oh my God, such a degenerate.
And also Nassau Coliseum had
had
the
WrestleMania.
one matches too. So the main event was Roddy Piper and Mr. T for that one.
Oh, the boxing match.
Yes. Where
Yes.
Roddy Piper threw the stool and then became a babyface like the week after that. So other matches, I forget which card matches were on which card. I'm gonna try and remember them the best I can as I run down them. Because it's been a while.
Oh yeah,
since I
this is
watched
the three
card.
WrestleMania.
So the IC
City
title match was
WrestleMania.
Macho Man George the Animal Steel, and I'm pretty sure that was at the Coliseum. I believe it was a tag title match, the British Bulldogs against the Dream Team, Hammer and Brutus, and I think
Yeah.
where the Bulldogs won the belt the first time. I believe that was one of the bigger matches in Chicago. Mr. Wonderful and Don Morocco, I think, was the first match of the Nassau Coliseum card. The Funk Brothers, Dory Funk and Terry Funk against Tito Santana and Junkyard Dog, that was in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Corporal Kircher and Nikolai Volkov, which I believe was in Chicago, which is where Blassie fucked up and threw the cane and Kircher intercepted and beat Volkov in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Uncle Elmer and Adrian Adonis, and that was in Los Angeles. And I believe it was Velvet McIntyre and Moolah in Chicago, and it was like a 3-second match. It was.
So what happened with the bun? Tell the
with the
story.
botch. And now so it was in the Hulk Hogan Bundy match. Before we say that, we've all seen this match, right? The cage.
Yes.
You know the spot in the match where Hogan throws Bundy into the cage and he starts bleeding?
Yes.
On this VHS, because WWE has edited it since on the network, because I've watched it on the network, they edit the camera angle. So they botched the camera angle on this VHS. They botched the angle where when he gets thrown into the cage, you see Heenan slice him open and he starts bleeding. And that's where wrestling got ruined for me.
I remember hearing that story. That's gold, brother.
That's gold.
Gold. Because the fact that the camera angle had switched and you see him with the blade and just go real quick, like a quick slash. I remember.
It wasn't
How much can he get for it, Hash?
I don't know. It's all in the eyes of the collectors. Remember, collecting is.
I have no
only
idea
other
what this is worth. I'm not selling it. It is a gem of a VHS. I bought that at my local Blockbuster when I was like 10, and I've hung on to it ever since. Again, I gotta like play through. I don't even know if these even play anymore.
Yes, they'll play. We'll figure out a way. They'll make them play.
I mean, I do have a VHS player in my room. Like that's not even being funny. I actually do have one, so I could probably still. I still got one.
Can you change your camera angle? That's a little weird.
Actually, I do have one.
Can you change your camera angle? It's a little weird, bro. Come on, bro.
Me?
Yeah, there you go.
What? I wanted people to see my shirt. What was so weird?
You didn't see the shirt. You saw your like bottom area.
Oh. No, you don't.
You don't see the shirt. You just see the bottom of your shirt, which is nothing designed on it.
Whatever.
What are you wearing? Well, see,
It looks
what
like
are you even
AJ
wearing
Styles.
anyway? Oh, it's an AJ Styles shirt. No one
Yeah.
knows you're wearing AJ Styles shirt. Like we
That's
could tell
why I
he's
was
wearing a
putting it out
Swolverine,
in a full.
I'm
a
gonna bring mine down
Swolverine
so we all
shirt.
see that I'm wearing a Brian Cage shirt, even though it looks like Weapon X because I'm a big X-Men nerd.
I didn't see Brian Cage right away either. So
So that's why I put it down because I figured
That's
I'm
why
trying to get.
it says Brian Cage as a right hand corner of it. You know,
Yep.
with the S, Swolver.
well,
Is he-
duh, I see that
is he
now. I have to
swole?
get a new phone case anyway. The stand broke.
Stand broke.
Yeah, this is all on my laptop, so I'm doing like the good angles.
Actually, yeah, my kid I think helped break the back of it. Actually, it's either me or her. So it's one of us broke it. I don't know. Anyway, that's not
Yeah,
important.
but that was just a good story that I wanted to tell the world because I think that's crazy that they actually because that was before they edited. Because if you watch it, because even if you play the Legends of WrestleMania video game, that's
Yeah.
a spot in the game that you have to do the objective, and they fuck it up there too, and they tweak the camera. It was they
I
can't expose it.
saw.
Well, yeah, but
know
on
what
the video
annoyed me,
game, they
speaking
try to
of
keep
that?
it.
I
What?
was at that. I think it was the FTW show, or it was a VPW show. It was an indie show, and I saw the guy actually cutting himself in this hardcore match.
I've seen that.
I saw
It is-
him turn around just to cut himself. You could see it. It's clear as
Yeah,
day.
it's not even like those little bullshit races. It's like the legitimate like box cutters. That's what Bobby Heenan used, like the one of those like ones with the handles. Like that's what he used to cut them. It was like a legitimate box cutter. But that's what they
man.
did back then.
Yeah, now
The
it's
last
a little
time
different.
I saw a blade get exposed in a match, I forget what it was. It was one of like I think it was a Hell in the Cell match with Cena. He did the AA, and the blade fell out of his pocket. You see the record? Oh nope, you didn't see that.
Yeah,
was
yeah,
hilarious.
picked it
Because of
up.
course, Rod's favorite John Cena would botch a blade spot.
Oh my God, pipe down over there.
Do you think
Well, John
guys
Cena
are
wasn't a good
getting-
blade guy. John Cena wasn't good when you bloodied him up. It didn't look good for him, and that's why they quickly stopped it, which was good. John Cena wasn't that guy.
Ric
How
Flair is
about
the bleed
now,
guy.
when you see guys bleeding on camera, you think that's planned, or do you think that's actually happening?
You know who
Whatever's on
gets bloodied a
WWE.
lot? To be honest, Cody. Cody gets bloodied a lot.
Yeah, that's what
Because
I'm
he's trying
talking
to be Ric
about.
Flair and
No,
Dusty
AEW
Rhodes.
is on AEW's on purpose. If you watch the last fight, I think what was it, the 2 cage one, and one of the guys got like started bleeding was because he lifted the
Go-Go
blade.
got
and-
Go-Go's the one who was bleeding. Actually, it was a
Tom
Go-Go.
man,
in
but
there.
you
Tom
saw-
Morano got busted too on
But
the
you
board,
actually
man.
saw the blade. You actually saw like the guy pick up the blade and actually cut the guy. So WWE is the only one that won't do the cutting anymore. If it naturally happens in a match, they'll let it go. Remember when Sasha
Does-
Banks hit with her hair or whatever, and they left the mark?
Yeah.
They kept it there, like that was real. Reality, like they're trying to go backwards where they're not trying to force the blood. If you force the blood, it's not a good match. If you force so much blood, remember they're trying to build a kid's product. Kids ain't gonna buy blood.
No, like when Orton got busted open because it was because Lesnar legit beat him hard way.
Yeah,
And he
What
literally
about when
legit made him
Jericho and
bleed
Batista did it? They got in trouble.
because
Jericho tells that
because-
story.
because they
because
weren't
Batista
supposed to
was-
do it, and it was clearly fake and exaggerated.
yeah, and on top of that, they did it, and he was told not to do it, and this was at the beginning of the PG era. So bad decision on Batista. But the moral of that story is that Batista took it upon himself to cut himself, or was it cut Jericho? I forgot what it was. But
think he
then
cut
he
him.
paid. But he paid for everyone's fine. Not only he had that fine, he paid Jericho's and he paid the ref's fine.
Good guy, Batista is.
That's why Jericho put him over. But do you think Batista's gonna make the switch to AEW and go
Back when
wrestle?
bleeding was
in
real.
Nah, I doubt it.
Back when bleeding was real, guys.
That was real,
That was an accident.
wasn't it?
Best accident. It was an accident.
Yeah.
What is it? His head hit the railing and it cut him, and it became the best accident to ever happen for WWE, for him and for Bret Hart, because the
That was
original finish.
WrestleMania, right?
WrestleMania
Yeah,
13.
13.
This VHS has to be gold. This is a gem.
Right.
And that's
Because-
the face he made when he was in the
Right after
sharpshooter.
he passed out. This was the
Right.
face he made right before he passed out.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's actually true though. That was the actual finish, but that finish would never have happened if he didn't have the blood on his face. He was supposed to pass out from all the pain, and Bret changed the angle.
Because Brett was smart.
Yeah, Bret changed the finish, and Bret made him look good because that was Bret's job. Because at the time, Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bret Hart were doing feuds, and Bret Hart, who is a big story guy, wanted to build it up. So when the match happened, Bret Hart mid-match changed the angle to still make sure Stone Cold Steve Austin looks good. Stone Cold brings that match up all the time that Bret made him look good.
Yeah, he did.
That was the
It
double
made
champ.
him a star that night. He made Stone Cold that night. That is the match that made Stone Cold. You tell me any match that made him leading up to that.
And
Yeah.
speaking
That
of
was
Bret,
the first start where you were like, Stone Cold is the new guy.
Yeah,
That
he's
was the start.
speaking of
Double
Bret,
turn,
on that
right
subject,
there.
his biography is coming tomorrow. His biography's on tomorrow.
Like him going after Bret Hart made him like start getting the eyeballs on
Brett,
him.
I
But the
know.
match
We were
made
talking
him.
about that earlier.
If it wasn't for Owen, if it wasn't for Bret, there wouldn't be no Stone Cold Steve Austin.
No, there wouldn't be. And you know it's a travesty because again we're chatting with the collector and the enthusiast. I got to keep bringing them out. I have to. It is a travesty that Stone Cold is not in this game.
In your house.
When did that come out?
1996.
Yeah.
Who was in that?
Yeah,
Undertaker.
Vader,
Actually, let me
Taker,
rephrase that.
Bret.
Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Ahmed
Yep.
Johnson, Vader
Yep.
Goldust, The Ultimate Warrior, Owen Hart, Bret Hart, British Bulldog, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker.
Right. So
And
this
every
is the
time I
only one
watch
as
this-
Owen Hart. This is the arcade version. This is the only one. I think the Sega Genesis, the Super Nintendo doesn't have Owen Hart in it.
Oh, for a new house. This is the Sega
Yeah.
Saturn one, yeah. So maybe. But what I will say is, every time I look at this, I want to think of the old Superstars intro from '96. Well, Diesel Cool, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Heartbreaker. That's what I think of every time I see this.
I wish you could play the audio for it right now, just to get nostalgia.
Actually, I probably could. Hang on.
You remember the Royal Rumble game? We were kind of talking about that earlier.
For Sega Dreamcast.
I was upset because my version didn't have Papa Shango, or who. There were two guys in the Sega version that are not on.
Hulk Hogan and Papa
I
Shango.
remember there was like a code you put in, like for like the one that came in 98, you get Quang.
Really?
There you go, guys.
Yeah.
Every guy in the game.
What theme was that from?
House, the video game.
And this is the Superstars intro in '96, which in hindsight was a terrible theme song. And this game was not
Are you
as
ready to
good.
go? I remember that show. I love Superstar. That was the
Terrible theme song now. Probably wasn't a terrible theme song when they first.
no.
Oh, and the Ringmaster is in the video with the $1 Million Dream on Rikishi. You still Fatu make a difference.
What about you remember the Superstars theme? Superstar.
That was
Like
the one
the
after
old-
that one, yes.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? I totally lost my train of thought editing. Oh, we were talking. We were getting into something.
You had something else that I was shocked to see, and especially in the Dreamcast, and that was your Street Fighter video game one that you showed.
Oh yes,
while
I'm
we
gonna
were
put that
behind
on
the
camera
scenes
for
and
everybody,
stuff.
and then I have more Street Fighter gems to show.
That is by far a giant gem in any collector that you have in your hand, and that is Street Fighter the movie.
The video game for
Fighting
Sega Saturn. That's right. I paid $60 for this.
Bring it close up. Show the back of that. Put it right in the
Does it bother
camera. Turn it
anyone
around.
else that Chun
There
Li
you
was a
go.
reporter?
There you go. Look at
You
that.
know who portrayed Chun-Li in this movie, right?
Yeah, from Mandalorian.
And also
Oh.
from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes.
Nina Wen, yeah, the chick from Mandalorian, yeah.
Who? Oh, you're saying what's her name?
Yeah,
May?
the actress is the girl from
May played. You're saying May played Chun Li?
yeah, in Street Fighter, the movie.
She was Chun Li.
I did not know that. She was younger then.
Yeah, she's probably like early 30s.
Yeah,
No,
everyone was young.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
she's
back
in,
then,
she's
yeah.
in like her late 50s, dude. She's getting up there.
gonna
She's not young.
I was going to
She's
say.
been doing a
She's
lot of
pushing
stuff.
60 now. But you know who else was in this movie? Actually, this movie had a pretty
I didn't
jam
like
cast if you
how
think
they
about it.
just.
People
Dude, they
shoved-
shoved characters in there, like DJ.
You know who played DJ, right? I forget the actor's
Yes.
name, but you know what he was in and what he's known for? The lead in
Uh,
Juana Man.
Yep.
And
The
guy
what?
who played- yeah,
He
DJ
doesn't do
was
sports.
Juana
Remember,
Man.
he doesn't do sports. Remember, he don't do sports. He don't do basketball.
And I
The
also
guy who played
then
DJ's
I
been
gotta,
a
I gotta
big-
whip out this
Yeah.
gem right here, the Street Fighter movie DVD.
Oh,
It's a
with
great
John
movie.
in there.
You know what else is in this? Kylie Minogue was Cammy.
Yeah.
That movie, yeah, I remember that movie bugged me because they just shoved characters in there just to have
But
them
they were trying to
there. But
recreate the movie. If you want to talk about the better Street Fighter movie from that era, I got a better one that I didn't show before when we were chatting.
the animated one,
The animated on this anniversary collection.
I
Yes.
like the animated one.
It's a great
That's
movie.
the actual, because that was the actual movie and everything too, and you got it as a bonus if you got the
Didn't
video
they have a
game.
Anniversary,
cartoon
yep,
for
that's what this
Street
is.
Fighter
This
also?
is-
Yeah, they had a cartoon show for it at one point.
It was a
Yeah,
cartoon.
yeah, it was different. It wasn't related to this, but it was.
I remember
that.
it, it was on USA, I believe.
Yeah, it was like with GI Joe and all that. And also one of my favorite T-shirts I own, because it's not. I usually wear wrestling shirts, so I'm going to show a Street Fighter Gen shirt.
Is it
Because
the
this is
character
one of my
collect?
favorite shirts ever, because that is just fucking brilliant.
Hadouken!
No, I
but,
want a Heineken.
but look at it closer.
It's
The
Heineken.
move
Heineken,
is
yeah.
under it. No, but look under it. It's the move and actually how you do it.
Oh, sweet.
It's like when you watch that music video for Shots by
LMFAO.
LMFAO when they start announcing the shots. If you watch the music video, they actually list the recipes for the shots. Yes, I'm a degenerate and a nerd, and I have way too much time on my hand.
Shots,
I can
shots,
tell.
shots, shots,
'Cause I didn't even know that.
everybody.
Yeah, I don't know. And
Wait, now
having
that
this
song's gonna
conversation
be
with
stuck
Hash,
in
she's
my
got me
head.
inspired to bring my
Shots,
random bullshit
shots,
collectibles
shots,
out.
What we need.
I'm liking my
Shots.
collectibles thing. He's bringing me back to my childhood, my nostalgia.
Oh,
Which is
just
something
wait
I
till
don't
you
do
go.
enough.
Oh, there's nothing having like maybe like a few collectibles here and there, like having the metal morphers and
That's
stuff.
pretty badass, actually.
Ah,
I respect
having-
that.
Oh, so
No,
Vegas
you
got
don't-
SummerSlam.
Leave me a few years ago because I can't. I think it's in my room somewhere.
In your
Do you
room
have it?
somewhere?
The letter opener?
Ooh, they gonna make some money.
No,
now.
I don't have it here and everything.
I
You
feel
gotta
like
let
we're
the
going
He-Man-
on we're going on collections. I
Turn
gotta
your
show one
letter
I did.
opener.
Oh, by the way, here's my case for that
Yeah.
one. Another
Oh.
classic arcade.
There you
Children
go.
of the Atom. This game was amazing.
Wait,
The
I
only-
saw a reflection.
With
What
the
is it?
code to get Ryu, you had to. There was a code in there to get Ryu in the game.
That I gotta find out. That again.
That one, Children of the Atom, you can play as Ryu because it's a
Okay,
Capcom.
yeah.
Have you played that? What was that DC game that was like a Street Fighter game? And there are two
Oh,
versions. They have comic books for it.
Injustice. I have both of them. Hang
Yeah,
on, I'll show you.
Injustice, which is Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, you can get
Mortal
Scorpion
Kombat.
in one of them.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got both of them. Hang on. I got them both.
Injustice 1 and
Scorpion's in one of the
Injustice 2.
games.
Got them both.
Is he in one or two?
Which one? Who?
Scorpion.
Neither.
No,
He's
Scorpion's
he's
in the game.
downloadable in two.
You download it too? I know he was a download when he did it on the app first. The app had him on first.
Yeah.
It was an app. The
I also
Injustice
have
was
the
an
other
app
one that
game.
started it.
Yep.
With this
The
game
one-
wasn't as good as the Injustice ones, but it was still fun.
It was
Do
a
you
good
remember
starter to get you into
Capcom
it.
versus the Marvel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Capcom vs. Marvel 1, Capcom vs. Marvel
Got it right here.
2.
Marvel vs. Capcom
He's
2.
got
Good game.
3.
I also have, I can find it if it's over here. I have, where is it? MVC Infinite, which was kind of not as good because they were too wrapped up in licensing issues at that point. So half the guys that
Right.
should be in aren't.
Anything X-Men related or Fantastic Four related never made it to that cut, and it ruined the game.
Exactly, and it sucked. And you know what's crazy too? Because I'm a nerd, and we're having this.
It's like, you know what? I should have a drinking game because you must have said that 6 times.
There you go. Kobe
Look at
Bryant
you.
rookie card sitting right here.
Look at you, hot shot. So I have this graphic novel, which is an epic gem, the Infinity War, the epic graphic
Woo!
novel, the whole thing.
I had that.
It's really
I
cool.
have-
You know what sucks
Well,
about it?
I
And you know
read
what's
that.
and you know what's the worst about it? And you look at the cover.
It's
All the
missing-
X-Men and Fantastic Four are on the cover and were like crucial parts of it, but because of licensing, they weren't in it in the movies for shit.
And that sucked too because Wolverine has a very important role in that book
He
too.
does.
Not only
And
does
you know what was
Wolverine,
amazing?
So does Adam
but Cyclops
Strange,
and Storm.
And you know what's an amazing lead up into that graphic novel that I have? The Infinity Gauntlet.
What was the name of the guy? Adam something in
Warlock.
Adam Warlock. Yeah, he
Yeah,
should have
Adam
been in
Warlock,
the
that's what this
movie.
whole thing is about. It's about him with the
He's gonna be in the new Guardians of the Galaxy though.
Yeah, that's where they're gonna.
We'll
yeah,
see.
That's where the Guardians kind of tie into it too.
By the way, Chuck, I was telling Ash about this. They're making an Among the Living comic book
Nice.
for that's Anthrax.
I heard you guys talking about that before we
There's a
started.
cover with Judge Dredd on it,
Oh boy.
because they wrote that song "I'm the Law" about him and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be pretty sweet. I want to get that. You could
Okay.
pre-order it now on their website, on their
Right.
website.
And my favorite graphic comic of all, speaking of my shirt and being an X-Men nerd,
Dun, 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 dun,
the Uncanny
dun.
X-Men. We are the X-Men. You know what's awesome about this comic? It has like every focal like X-Men story ever, including the very first X-Men comic ever, which is a gem in itself. And also, I believe
So that one has the lore. That has the X-Men lore from the first comic to where you want it to be. I remember seeing that.
you
It's
know where
a
I
good
bought
starter
this?
book.
I actually
When?
bought this. I found this in a random store in New Jersey about 4 years ago. No, I was no, sadly, a friend of mine, his mom passed away.
Right.
So the wake services were in Jersey because he was from Jersey. So me and my friend drove to Jersey and we stopped to get something to drink quick. And it was like a pantry store, like 7-Eleven type. And they had random comics and they had this and there was a gem and a steal. I'm like, I have to buy this.
Right.
When you travel on the road like that and you find that, you buy it. It's just what it is.
Yes, you do. I made the mistake of I didn't grab a signed Spider-Man cover that had Todd McFarlane's signature on it because I didn't believe it was Todd McFarlane's signature and I missed out on it.
I'm so mad at myself
You know
that
what
I
have?
you know what
Do
I'm
you
mad about?
know?
That I unintentionally got rid of my I Ignite Spider-Man poster because that's the best Spider-Man poster you could ever have. And
You know what I
just looking
have?
at me like
And
shame.
it's in New York right now.
Could probably get another
Um,
one. They have a ton left.
I'm sure I can get one from him.
I have a whole box of comics that my friend's been holding for me for like 7 years.
I don't
And
have
one of
anything.
them-
No, okay.
And X Factor, the first Cable introduction. I have that number one. I think it's X Force or X Factor, X Force One,
X Factor.
X
Cable,
Factor One.
Father and Sons?
I have
What?
it.
Father and Sons, what? Not
Number
the one,
one.
but
Cable.
I'm just saying it's a good comic.
That's not. Yeah, you could throw that away. No one's gonna buy it.
I love the comic. I don't care. I bought an assortment of comics.
Look.
Doesn't
Here's
Cable
the true
remind you of
hunt.
Clint
Here's the
Eastwood?
true hunt. Go on the hunt, and wherever GameStops are sold, get your Cara Dunes before you can't find anymore.
Right. I have a lot of X-Men. I forgot how much of an X-Men nerd I am.
I mean, yeah, I was collecting X-Men too, man. I was
I was always an
a
X-Men
big
guy.
Spider-Man guy at one point.
Me too. I've been like I was telling Hash earlier, or was I telling you too that I just finished watching the old Spider-Man cartoon on Disney Plus, the '90s one.
Right.
That's a
Oh
gem
yeah,
cartoon.
that pissed me off
There you
what
go,
you
Jay.
told me because I didn't finish it either.
This is for Jay.
That is cool.
Oh man, Beast.
Beast is one of my favorites. I actually, when I bought this comic box, it came with the OG X-Men shirt. I was rocking it yesterday. I love that shirt. The
Never
OG
take it out of the box. Never take it out of the box.
You know that you can watch the original X-Men on Disney Plus right now. It's pretty
I've
sweet.
watched the whole
I'm
thing. I've
talking
watched
about
that
the
one.
Hey.
cartoon, by the way.
Hey, you want one
Same.
better? Ninja Turtles is on YouTube right now. You can watch it on YouTube.
Really?
Yes, you
Which
can.
version though? Which
First-
version?
First movie, the 1989 Ninja Turtles.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the
That's that
cartoon.
Yeah, so did I actually.
I've seen it on there. It was on there at one point, full episodes. I've
You know
watched
what's
Cartoon?
funny?
I got that on VHS somewhere. I'll watch it on
I
VHS.
had them. I have Ninja Turtles comics in my collection of comic books.
That the Ninja Turtles comics originally was not what the 80s show turned into, and then they
Correct.
later adapted the original comic version because April O'Neil was not a reporter in the original comics.
The original comics killed Shredder in the first one because it was a one-off as a joke. And then the popularity of the first comic book drew more attention. And after the fourth book or fourth comic, then they sold the rights to Playmates. There's a whole thing on how where toys came from on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
Whole
Oh
storyline
yeah,
of
I watched it. I never finished it, but I watched some of that. That was
Yeah.
Isn't Master of the Universe the same thing where the toys came out first and then
the Masters of the Universe, the toys came out before the storyline because the story was in the comic book and the comic books were not what they were. And there was a pre-storyline before all that too.
So here's something that I'll never forget. I was 4 years old. I saw the He-Man, toys on TV. It's the first time. And I was like, Mom, I want that. And she got it for me. And then I was disappointed. I was disappointed because his hair was not as light as it was on TV. Stupid
Well,
reason,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I'll never
So
forget
the
that.
remakes made it blonde. The original ones had him orange, and they were the soft and everything. This one doesn't have the soft.
You remember Faker?
Yes.
I always wondered why in the cartoon he was never blue, but the toys it was blue and orange.
It was green actually, unless you got like
Green?
it was
Thought
it was more like a teal. He was like a teal color.
But not in the cartoon.
Doesn't
They made
matter.
him like an identical version of He-Man in the cartoon.
Look, if you watch the show, whatever person came out with a name, that was the character name. So if you came in saying Fang Man, there was like the weirdest names ever. Because remember, people still make fun of Fisto and Fang Man and Ram Man, stuff like that. It was just whatever weird name you came up with, that was the name
Many
of the next
faces.
He-Man. Right, but like that was the name of their He-Man character. So we're walking the line or whatever. Remember, Panther was recycled to like the girls' toys lines. So a lot of the toys were recycled. So
How about whatchamacallit? Hordak was made for He-Man, and yet he became a character on She-Ra.
well, there was a whole storyline with as well too, because He-Man they were just done with the He-Man line. They were just pushing for She-Ra, and She-Ra, because it lasted one season, was down to bad writing. That's why the season only lasted one season.
Do you
Well, then-
like?
then
Have
again, we
you
all
watched
know, going
the
back to
She-Ra?
Turtles, which what universe it exists in, and what it was a complete mockery of, Daredevil.
What do you mean?
Is it the ooze that mutated the Turtles, the same ooze that made Daredevil blind, that made Matt Murdock blind? Isn't that the rumors, Mel?
It was sort of like, yeah. So the ooze that turned Matt Murdock blind was the fact that the ooze shat in his face. It was actually shot in his face and everything. That's what made
Yeah.
him blind or whatever, because it was covered his face. The turtles were crawled on the same ooze. So
And
the
it
joke
mutated
is
them.
that the ooze end up in that same ooze end up in the sewer.
Sewers that made them mutated into turtles. And also, because the Hand and the Foot Clan aren't kind of the same thing.
Right. So the same.
I guess. The
Hey, but
Hand.
it
I
works.
have this really cool story with the Hand. I remember when I was a kid, I got this Daredevil comic book, and then years later, I finally was able to get all the books that kind of came from that storyline, and one of them was like the Hand, where he was fighting like this big giant what do you call a sumo looking dude from some Hand Warriors. Oh man, it was crazy. Who was dressed in red. You remember that one?
No, you
The
have
mutated sumo hand guy.
It wasn't a mutated Fisk, was it? Because that would make sense in
No,
a weird way.
it wasn't Fisk. It was
I
a
know, I'm
Hand.
kidding,
It
I'm
was
just
a
saying.
member of the Hand.
I don't remember.
I
Just a
can't
long
recall.
time ago.
There's been a lot of story actors. I know got comics, but I don't know every comic.
It might have been
Rod's a
Frank
Daredevil
Miller.
guy. Maybe you know Rod.
What up?
I was obsessed with Daredevil for a long time.
Oh yeah, that's like my co-favorite Marvel superhero.
So Rod, maybe you could shed light on Jay's question about the fat sumo mutated guy in the Hand from Daredevil.
I can get access to my old comics, man.
You just look it up online. If you had a collection, you would have taken a picture of it, or just remembered like what you had. It's not hard to remember some of the original comics that you once.
I remember
owned.
it stemmed from the comic book where Foggy's wife was kind of in the kind of she was cheating on him with a bad guy, or she was kind of she was kind of under his spell. I forget.
Kevin Feige? What?
Oh no, she was his ex at that point, and she was like with
Ash with all this good stuff. I'm enjoying this.
trying to remember what the hell was it.
I don't know. He just keeps talking,
He was
trying
part of this
to get
cult.
to figure stuff out. Remember, we're still waiting on Jay's collection. Jay, where's this so-called collection?
Only AEW do we go from wrestling to comic books.
Hey,
Because he lives near Walmart, and Walmart no longer carries any of the AEW stuff anymore because you have
the
Toy
only
Scalpers.
get this Hash.
I almost
Get
bought a
this,
Tony
guys.
Stark figure,
There's
so that
only
was
one
a
toy
regret.
they have for AEW, which I will never get. You know what that is.
Oh Jesus Christ! Will you stop already?
The
Tell
ring.
him, Rod. Riho. I will
I
not.
knew it. I knew it.
Why
Will you
not?
stop
Why?
already?
Okay, why? Okay, one. Okay, number one, Riho has the original AEW women's title, right? If I'm not mistaken, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Has original women's title. It's the first one. And
Yes.
meanwhile, Britt Baker has the updated version. So that
Oh, yeah.
toy, because of the first edition, is going to be worth a lot of money. And you bailed on it, bro.
Oh,
She's
because he
the
hates
first.
Rio. That's why. Because he's a hater. He's an undisputed hater. That's
don't-
why.
So Rod,
Bro,
take the opportunity to buy that Riho belt because Jay won't.
I definitely will. If I can find it, I'll get
buy
it.
the figure,
Fine,
bro.
I'll buy it. I bet
She's
the
the
toy
fir-
hasn't sold. It's still there, so I'll buy it. I
So
guess.
get it. I bet you after today, the second you get off this little chat, whatever, you go right to the store. I don't care what time it is, because probably Walmart by you is probably open 24 hours, unlike New York.
Get it.
You go over there, you buy it, and I don't care how much it is, how botched the box is, or whatever, because it is the first botched AEW title, and the second edition will be made a little bit bigger than normal, and everyone's gonna be hunting for Britt Baker. But always collect the champions, because you never know who wants the championship belts.
Speaking of
That's
the belts,
why-
man, they need to hurry up and make the tag belts and the TNT belts in the women's title. So
That's why I keep my own heart action
coming
figures in the
out
back
next
of my basement,
edition.
because they, even though they're beat up and destroyed, they might be worth something because someone somewhere might buy it.
Right. These belts are always worth something. The toy belts are always worth something. Don't bail on it. Because
Stop
why?
writing Rio off.
Let me ask
Stop
you a
hating.
question. Let me ask
What?
you a question, Hash. If they make the Young Buck toys with the shoes, the storyline.
Oh Lord.
No.
How
no,
much do
they're
you
not.
think
They're
that's
not.
going to
They're-
cost?
They're not.
I watched
They're not.
it.
Blood on the
You said
shoes.
because of licensing, they will not put the Air Jordan logo on the shoes. I pay attention.
There is a reason why. There is a reason why. Also, Miles Morales is no longer wearing Nikes. Marvel had a deal with Nike, so when they did
Damn, I
Miles
didn't know.
Morales, they put Nikes on Miles Morales. Now they switched it to Adidas based on Miles Morales being from Brooklyn, and that goes back to AEW and wrestling and stuff like that. They will not have a Nike deal, and by the time they release those action figures with the Jordan logo, whatever, it'll be a botched version of the sneakers.
Why
And they'll
Adidas? Adidas is not a good shoe. I've had
Adidas
Adidas.
are-
I didn't like
Adidas are great sneakers if
I
you
like
have not
Adidas.
white
Wait,
feet.
wait. Hold on. If you're from Brooklyn and you know anything about music and everything
I'm
too,
not from Brooklyn. I'm from Long Island.
still, you're from New York. You are from New York, the birthplace of a lot of music, which includes hip hop. All right. You are on the island when it comes to Queens and in Brooklyn as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
too.
There's a song
Going
about
through my head right
Adidas.
now,
Kicks
hearing these
that Run
answers.
DMC sang
Speaking
was
of my Air
my
Jordans,
Adidas.
there you go.
Those are the J's.
Yeah,
Those are
yeah,
big.
yeah, yeah,
These
yeah.
are
I
like
know,
the
but
OG bloodlines.
I
These are like
never
the
looked
second
good in
named ones ever.
Adidas. I never looked good in Adidas.
So they're just sneakers. So that's what they
I got duck feet. I
changed
can't
as
wear
well,
Adidas because
too.
I have fat feet.
Also the licensing deal and stuff as well too. They make more money and get more product line with them buying sneakers and putting them on than
Wait a
actually
second.
paying
You
extra
said
money for them to
Brooklyn,
be on
though.
sneakers.
Run DMC's from Queens.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh
bro.
God. Here we go.
Again, but okay, now you're saying that, but when people were migrating in the 80s,
I'm just being difficult on purpose.
Brooklyn.
I'm
Because
just
this
being
one
difficult on
because
purpose.
this one being the music enthusiast and everything too, who now left from New York to Florida, who hasn't gone to a live show, let alone local.
I haven't gone because of COVID, but
Pre-COVID I'm talking about. Pre-COVID.
oh, you
But
kidding me?
again,
I've
but
been to shows
We're talking about the
pre-COVID.
80s. And look at the way congestion
I've been
was
to
happening
plenty
in
of
Long
shows
Island.
pre-COVID.
When people
Hold
started
on, I gotta
migrating into
defend
Queens
myself.
in the 80s, where did they migrate from? Brooklyn.
Okay, whatever. But you're
Anyone
saying
goes-
you don't know, dude. I've been going to shows pre-COVID. I mean,
All right.
God
So
rot.
when you're
Killed by
when you're in
Florida,
Florida, okay. So
1983.
all right. Okay. When you're currently in Florida, right? $50 says any person rocking a Yankees hat in Florida. $50 says they are a hip hop fan and a hip hop fan of New York.
Probably.
So what's wrong with that? I'm not saying
mind.
it. I'm just
Never
saying I didn't
mind,
look
never
good in the
mind.
shoes.
He misses the culture. The culture goes with the sneakers, and if you're into music, literally Run DMC and including guys like Anthrax rocked Adidas. So
Okay.
Adidas was the official shoe of pretty much everything music until
Well-
Nike came in and so did Michael Jordan.
I just didn't look good in them. I'm just talking about my childhood, not the.
I can't wear
Cult
Adidas. They don't
stuff.
fit my feet. It sucks. It's depressing.
just one
That's why
size,
I
yeah.
wore-
I honestly can only
Why I
wear
have
New
Jordans.
Balance now. I can only wear New Balance now.
Are your feet that bad? You got to wear New Balances?
I'm size 14.
They make size 14 Nikes. You know that, right?
I'm sure they do. I don't know. My dad wore a lot of New Balances, and I just started wearing the New Balances, and I look good in the New Balance. They're black. I like them. I couldn't tell you.
I don't know. I'm a size 12. I'm the largest shoe size that you can relatively easily find in shoe stores, so I'm happy.
I'm the size 10.5, which you can't
Good for
find.
you. What'd you
You can never
say?
find my- I'm
Yeah,
10.5. You can never find my shoe size because it's the one thing that's the size that's always sold out. Is the
That's like the most
10.5.
common shoe size for a man.
Yeah.
Like it's like literally like between like 10 and a half is most common, but like you probably have that problem where you either, depending on the style of shoe, you either got to swallow your pride and squeeze into the 10, or you got to go up to the 11.
Nope, still won't do it. If I collect, it'll be in the 11, but then I do it to resell to find my size.
The only shoes I wear in 11s are Converse because I'm technically an 11 wide, and the way Converse are made, they stretch
Yeah,
a bit. So
I'm a
11's
12.
okay. Anything else, I'm a size 12 in because my
Yeah.
feet are too wide, and that's why I don't wear Adidas. I'd be like a size 15 in Adidas to accommodate the width.
Yes, that's true.
Like a 15 wide would get my Adidas going.
Wider is better.
They
And
don't
to
make
answer your
wide shoes.
question, and to answer your question, Jay, because I know you want the win, the sky sled and everything too. This is part of
Oh,
the
God.
edition. You could probably find us at Target anywhere nearby. I just wanted to collect all the He-Man swords because
I love fucking He-Man. I can't wait till the new series goes on Netflix.
That's why the action figures, the new action figures will be released before the new cartoon series on Netflix.
When is it coming out? I really want to see it.
So the action figures, actually, it'll be this month when the toys get released. The following month will be when the series, I think July 14th. Don't quote me on it correctly, but I think around that week will be the new He-Man series.
Kevin Smith is all over that, so I'm excited, man.
Seth Rogen, and you got Seth Rogen redoing Ninja Turtles, baby. So we can't wait to see how that continues on with the Seth Rogen Ninja Turtles line.
Oh man, I'm excited.
Come on, because no one liked the fact that Raphael was there and going, wait, this makes no sense.
Seth Rogen?
Yes, Seth Rogen is behind the new Ninja Turtles cartoon.
Okay.
Because Seth Rogen is awesome, and everybody. Well, you know what's gonna be great about that? Then that I'm sure Michelangelo is gonna be the biggest fucking stoner in the world. It's gonna be Pineapple Express meets fucking Michelangelo at that point.
Oh no,
Pineapple
if they do that, there'll probably be a lot of food references. But if they do weed references, it'll kill their kid core demographic.
Yeah, I was
don't
gonna
think,
say.
and I don't think being friends with Eastman, I don't think he would have gone with it as well too. And Eastman wouldn't say yes to Seth Rogen doing it, because that's a huge that would be the huge kill. I know, granted, they're green and you put a little fur on them, they look like giant nuggets. We get it as well too. But you really want to kill your core audience, we're gonna buy the toys. When it comes out, I'm buying the toys. Well, I put it in this case,
as you
probably.
should.
I mean, even though the comics came first, wasn't the popularity of the show based on the toys?
The popularity of it was based on the toys. The toys had their own storyline while the comics were doing their own storyline.
And the cartoon was more based on the toys are based more on.
Yeah, no, I'm saying the cartoon and the toys, not the comic book toys. Wasn't
No,
popularity more the toys than the cartoon?
correct. The popularity was on the toys.
I
That's
had
why
every one
they-
of them when I was a kid.
Come on,
Speaking
they
of,
made
video games. We could all agree that the original Nintendo Ninja Turtles was like one of the most headache games in the world.
I like the arcade
except-
version better.
yes.
I like the third one. The third one from Nintendo was my favorite one of the three.
Turtles
third
of
one.
Time.
Yeah,
That was
no,
four. That was Super Nintendo. That was four. The one before that, there was one.
the Manhattan
The
Project.
Manhattan Project. I
Yeah,
got
there's
that.
the original Turtles,
Yeah.
and there was the arcade game was 2. 3 was the Manhattan Project, and 4th was the Super Nintendo Turtles of Time, which is my other favorite.
And like
I
the
love
fighting game
Turtles
as well
of
too.
Which is
Time.
another
yeah.
game which is worth a shit ton of money randomly. That game is fucking expensive to buy.
Turtles in Time.
Yeah, that thing's like
Just get
Wasn't
the
Turtles in
arcade
Time
stand
the
that came
arcade
out with.
game
I know.
Yeah,
Right?
Turtles in Time was also an arcade game. Yes.
where you fight like Shredder at the Statue of Liberty?
Or was
That was
that?
Krang. That was Krang at the
Krang.
stage.
Yeah.
That was Krang and that was Turtles in Time. Yes.
Yeah.
I like it.
But you can get the arcade stand version of it. You go to any Walmart, they still have the Ninja Turtles, the arcade game, and Turtles in Time on their arcade stand.
Yep.
We do it, yeah.
I like
I
the.
mean,
You were
the
smart.
Nintendo.
But if you were smart, you bought the Mortal Kombat game, Fighter game, and then that way you can add all of the other arcade games that were ever created, or just make your own arcade stand.
Yeah, whatever works, whatever your technology is.
Those were, I mean, yeah, those were all good games. I was watching someone play a Mortal Kombat game on their Twitch channel recently. I didn't like it was the game where you can do like an RPG. It was so weird. This
I
Mortal
think that
Kombat.
was that Shaolin Monks, I think, or was it Mythology Sub-Zero? It was RPG. I think it was. Wasn't it Shaolin Monks?
I forget what it was. I forget what it was called, but it wasn't Shaolin Monks. It was like, they had the regular fighting style, but there was this whole RPG where you're just some random kid or whatever running through the village, and you can actually, and then you can see like Sub-Zero hanging around. You can actually attack him, and then you
Oh,
fight.
that was Armageddon. That was one for Xbox. I think that had like every character ever in it.
Think it was just, but it was, I don't
It was
know.
either that one or it was no. It was either that one or it was Deception. Deception had that weird story.
Deception. It was Deception. Yes.
That was probably my least favorite of all the Mortal Kombat's. Deception.
I didn't like it.
That was like the worst one. No, Armageddon was the one after Deception where it had every character ever in it, and you could play. And you played as Taven, and you like did his story, and he fought his brother Dagon and all that shit. Hashtag Mortal Kombat nerd.
Yeah. I think this is where the attention wrestling disorder name comes in, because I don't even remember where the wrestling was anymore.
We did the crossovers of wrestling and turned into the crossover of comics and all the other
basically.
dirty shit.
I didn't talk
And also
that
us
All
trying
about
to
the
tap
nerd
in on
stuff.
Hash's personal life and his fandom, because that's a big part of him.
Hey,
Fandom
let
always
me ask you
collecting.
a question. Would you ever at any point in your life go back to music?
I try to. I got involved with a lot of other acts, which it's kind of weird. As much as I love the Long Island scene and everything about it, everyone I once knew has gone on to do other music scenes. So my management company, granted, has gone into soft rock. My record label that I was on is into house trance music and stuff. So when it comes to the rock scene, it's either it's pretty much on a standstill right now, where you'd have to sit there and write new music and throw it out immediately. The, I give a lot of respect for all the Long Island guys that are still around, that are still trying to do the same exact thing. But you have to realize one thing: without you going on the road after you're making the music, it's more difficult than when it was before. For us back then in our 20s, it was easy. Put out some music, go on the road. It's almost like Comic-Con. The first year, no one knows you. Second year, you're filling up the spots. Your third year on the road, you're definitely filling out arenas and everyone knows who you are. And you have to be in it to win it. Right now, I'm now involved in hip hop music. I was involved with the I Love the 90s tour. I was involved with that New Kids on the Block I Love the 90s tour remix. That's where I'm more involved in, where I'm more of a behind the scenes guy of doing promotions and doing video clips for people and things like that. The music.
Are you still like, I mean, are you still doing something with Band and Venue? Or is
No,
that
band and venue. Band and venue passed when a lot of the venues we were going to closed. A lot
Everything's
of the
gone.
venue, right? When you look at a club, and I say this nostalgically whenever I go to Ohio, and people were just like, "Oh my God, how many years ago did you play?" Yeah, clubs like Peabody's that had 3 venues are closed. Mulcahy, I mean, look, unless you're a cover band, you're playing Mulcahy's. Unless you're a national act, you're playing Mulcahy's. What local band is going to be playing Mulcahy's anymore now?
You
The
can't
bands,
get into Mulcahy's anymore.
correct.
You
Is
can't
it shut down or like?
No,
they don't
the
book like that
venues,
anymore.
So it's almost like the Comic-Con scene. You pay to play. You pay to be part of the venue. And if you don't go back to the olden days, like CBGB's is done, what was it? The Continental is done. Trash Bar is the Trash Bar.
I miss the Continental. I miss CB's. I miss Trash. Hell, I
They're all
miss.
gone.
Oh,
Amityville and Amityville. Okay, they
Crash
have a
Mansion. I miss Crash Mansion.
right, but these are core. But these are all right. But Crash Mansion will have their touring national acts like the small type bands. Our music is dead. People listen to this alternative rock stuff or alternative music that makes no sense to us, where the kids are talking about drinking chlorine and thinking that's cool. It's as bad as
What band is that?
I don't even mention the band's name. It's what the last two girlfriends I date listen to this music, and I almost threw their phones across the room. It's as
He's
bad as
not
current.
wrong though. This is accurate. This
Drinking
is
chlorine.
It's as bad. It's as bad as current hip hop. It's what we don't listen to anymore, and we don't go to shows for. We're stuck on the old national acts band. And if you're a band that was around 10, 15 years ago, bro, you got the same 15 people that love you then, and they're gonna watch you again. No offense to my friend's band, which he'll eventually do a show. I'm gonna end up going to watch it because he'll probably do one on a day where I have a day off or I'm home in New York, and I'll probably end up seeing them in Long Island. But then yet again, it's kind of like, why are you doing a show? You're just wasting everyone's time again too by
exactly. I
playing
feel
the
like
same 8 songs.
right. I
Chuck,
feel like at
Chuck,
our
you can agree to
ages,
this.
right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like at our ages, like I feel like if you like watch events that we like were playing in or we're friends with, and they're
Right.
still doing it, it's like you feel like that scene like came and passed them by almost.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Like it's like I love a lot of bands that we like,
Played
were in the
with.
scene when you were doing or played with, you know, and like some of them still do stuff and they're still good, and they're those that 10 or 15 core group of people that they brought out to every show still show up, but you're not really bringing anybody new. It's like you've been playing the same show since 2008.
Look, right. We're gonna end up at Club Loaded. We're gonna end up in Amityville to watch our friend's band play over there because they're not playing Mulcahy's and stuff
We
like
haven't
that.
been doing that for 15 years plus, 15 to 20
Yeah.
years.
And it's the
thing.
same 50 people. It's like you going to the local bar. You're still the local guy. I'm not gonna I'll beat around the bush. I said 10 years ago then, how is now? You're part of the L list. As much as it's messed up, you're the Long Island local list. Triple you're the triple L.
It's a shame.
It sucks. It's a bad thing to talk about as is, because there's tons of talented people. And the new thing is right now it's TikTok. If you're not writing a song that it's going to be on TikTok 30 seconds long to get people into it, you're not doing the right thing. I know so many people that have changed style to write for TikTok. And if you're not writing to get a 30-second buzz out of a TikTok clip or a minute long song, you're also doing it wrong too. Switch the game, switch your aspect of stuff. If you're a musician, stop trying to think that you're going to be a rock star tomorrow, because the rock stars of today, they're the reason why they're rock stars today.
Yeah.
It's a different.
Chuck, you want to add to that? Yeah.
It's totally a different world, definitely.
Yeah.
And also, guys, we're also at that age where it's like we go to these places and you like go to shows, or like let's say like you think you're in that like age, you're like, let me go to a pit and have fun, and you realize if you go into a pit now, you're gonna actually hurt a kid.
Right. Or if not that, you're the one with the black eye.
Or get her.
Yeah.
Not it. That's why I don't go to pits anymore, man, because my body's done with that.
I'll give you one more band that they made it on the peak level. And I mean, like, if you're over the age of 32 to almost 40, go be a cover band, because that's
exactly
anything that's going to be working for you. Go be a cover band.
Because it's got to come an age where you do your art for so many years that you eventually got to get some return on it. You go to covers because that's your money work.
Yeah. As far as writing music, you're not Three Doors Down. Three Doors Down is the only band that made it at that peak age, and they're still the only band that has ever made it at the age of 32. Every other band that still claims that they are rock stars or whatever still is filling up local bars. They're just filling up
or you're the band Lit and you put out country albums. That's fucking real. Lit put out a country album like 2 years ago. It's fucking terrible.
Wow. Breaking Benjamin's still doing well.
But Breaking Benjamin's been around for years. Breaking Benjamin also games. A lot of these guys are staying on TikTok. They're playing on Twitch. They are staying relevant. But they are also national acts.
But also
not
too with
local.
Breaking Benjamin, but even on the other level, Breaking Benjamin is playing the same songs now that they've been playing for 20 years.
They haven't wrote a new album. You think if Breaking Benjamin came out with an album today, you think it's gonna go platinum? You think it's gonna go gold?
No.
Or it's gonna go plastic? You let me know where that goes. Is it platinum?
It's like buying a new Iron Man album. Hey, did you ever have that new Iron Man album? No, because no one cares.
Right. It'll hit gold. You get 100,000 people buying it.
No one's buying the Iron Man album. But that's it. It's that those times are over. Like there's bands, they all have shelf lives. Like they should still write and it's still great.
Right. I'll give one more example. You think tomorrow, if Envy on the Coast, Glassjaw, and Brand New, or Taking Back Sunday came off an album right now, would they have a tour, or would they play somewhere local that can fill up a 200-place arena?
The only one that has the best chance of that is Taking Back Sunday, and they would still go on the smaller side. I was watching a thing on TikTok actually. It made sense. I think it's the band New Friends. The guy said with a band like Taking Back Sunday would do this, where it's like they're at that point where they could play that one big show and fill it with 10,000 people, or you're gonna play that, like, let's say 1,000 people, like that one show a year that plays 1,000 people, or you're gonna play the small local venue and play it to 100 people and play it 10 times in a year, and what's your better outcome?
Give one example, I forget the band's name, and they played Mulcahy's right before COVID happened, and it was part of the popcore band group or whatever, and even they couldn't fill up Mulcahy's. So there's that huge problem of like you have to go back to guerrilla style, guerrilla warfare of the only way bands will recognize anything that you do is play every goddamn music video you ever had in your life. And if you don't have a music video, then what are you doing? Like,
make a music video.
If I brought my band back today, it wouldn't make sense. Music to me, look, if someone wants me to fill for a band, I'll go fill in for a band. But if you want me to go write new music and go on a tour, not happening.
It's not feasible.
Yeah, Hash. You don't want to be a fake Hash. What?
Not a fake. You don't want to be. Thank you, son of a gun. How dare you use my lines?
Hey, that was
Not
a
a
good
fake.
song, man.
That was a good. Thank you. It was a good song. Look, I'm not a fake. Never will be. I don't want to toot anyone's horns or whatever, but I've always spoken about the truth of how I felt, how I've actually felt of my own opinion. It's not going to work for me. If it's not going to work for me, how's it going to work for somebody else? And if it works for you, awesome, good, go for it. Go find your passion. But if you hit a certain age, don't leave your home. You're not going to get past the kids today just on a free concert, or you're not talking about, smoking hookah and huffing, propane tanks. That's basically what it is.
Is that a thing?
Dude, yeah.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
It really is. It
New York
doesn't.
is
It
fucked
doesn't.
up, Jay. You've been out of New York a while. Shit got really fucked up here in the last 8 years.
Hell, snorting condoms was a thing at one point. So
Yeah. What was I
Think
gonna
about
say?
Jay, think about it. Everyone's on the Tide Pods, or everyone's on some random new stuff.
snorting bug spray.
Right.
What the
Don't
hell?
forget people
What
taking
the
shots of
hell?
chlorine for a while too. So let's not
Yeah.
talk about that.
We were talking about that.
It-
Or
it-
you know what
this era's
genre
version of
really
sniffing
annoys
glue.
me? You know what genre really annoys me? Have you guys ever heard of this band called 100 Watts? Or
No,
10?
No.
no.
It's basically two musicians, and one just sings from like this like an auto tune chipmunk. It's like when the other person plays, the dude plays guitar, and the
All right.
girl.
I'll give you a quick example. All right, because I don't even know this
Horrible.
band's name, but this this national act band, rock band, always talks about mathematics. I forget the band's name. And I know you guys will probably know who I'm talking about. Well, they'll have logic and they talk about math, whatever. That's how the new music is. If you
What?
don't talk
I
about
have
something,
no idea what band you're talking about, to be honest.
find out the name somewhere tomorrow and just tell it to you because I'm really running off the top of my head. But they've been played on Octane. They were on K-Rock when K-Rock was still around. They've been played on some of the other rock national stations as well too, including the Shark. And
Which one?
every single song that they have has a math equation. They talk about math in it.
Are you
So
talking about
that's
Mute Math themselves? Are you talking about the band Mute Math?
no, I'm thinking of something else. No, it's a different band.
No, I'm just thinking because like I know they have like some weird like irregular shit going on.
I like the first first two Mute Math albums.
But
Mute
you want
Math had some
the
good
other
stuff.
example? Psycho Stick can't even put on a tour, but if you get a alternative band to do what Psycho Stick does, the kids will follow. We can't talk about beards and everything or
Yeah,
beer.
Psycho. I remember Psycho. The only song that sticks out when you think of Psycho Stick to me is the beer song that you just mentioned.
Yes,
I don't remember their other stuff.
boobs, beards, boobs, beards, and beer.
And beer.
Well, that's pretty much
That's easy to remember.
Pretty much it.
yeah. That's like the band Fear. Everything they play, they just rhyme it with beer. Yeah, let's rhyme our band name with the word beer because that's cool and that's what hardcore kids drink.
Smear.
Right.
Here.
And we're the old guys, so there's a whole new thing for seeing kids. I remember going to a venue here in Brooklyn, and in the band, in my opinion, sucked. My opinion sucked. I'll never listen to them, never buy their CD, whatever. But my girl at the time went with her girlfriend to go to the venue, and there was a line around the corner. This concert was sold out. And here, the funny thing is, I ran into Enzo and Cass before I got to the venue there in Brooklyn. That's a whole nother story.
Oh, we got to hear some of the story. You got finish your story, but you got
I
to tell
kind of
us.
want to hear it. Yeah.
You can't
So-
mention Enzo Cass on us without bringing up the story.
Yeah, you gotta
Alright.
tell it.
So
W.
you
Morrissey
remember-
Cass.
All right, so it was at the time where Enzo and Cass were kind of getting back together, and I'm
Oh, so it's
going.
recent.
Yeah, this is like 2 or 3 years ago, the year before COVID, and I'm going down one of the streets in Brooklyn, and I just remember seeing Cass at a Eternal Con. It was like 2 or 3 weeks after Eternal Con, and I'm walking down the street and everything, going by, and I'm like, I see him, and I was like, I call him by his real name. I was like, "What are you doing here?" It's like, "Oh, we're filming something." I was like, "Oh, that's dope." Like, but still, what are you doing in Brooklyn? And he says, certain somebody, which was his tag team partner, Cass lived in the building, so Cass had moved from Queens to Brooklyn.
Oh, you went the
And-
opposite way, everybody else. I'm kidding.
Right. I don't remember the video that came up after it. I think they did the Cass and Enzo video that ended up on Instagram that talked about like them getting back together, how they were a tag team, how
right.
this is also pre Cass also stepping back away from wrestling one more time to get mental health help.
I guess he was kind of in between his mindsets.
Yeah,
I know
it
he
was
was
like-
kind of getting better, then he slipped again.
Yeah, it was kind of getting better and slipped again. And I just remember like walking down the street and there they were. We took about a couple minutes. What was the ironic part is I'm on one side of the street and they're like a completely opposite end of the street. And everyone like looking at us as if like, what the heck is going on? Because I won't cross the street and he won't cross the street either. But I just remember like walking to the venue and then like going over there. There was a giant line of like these kids. These kids are like no more than like 18 to like 20 years old watching this like brand new concert. And the girl I drop off, she's in her 30s. I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, did I miss something here? She goes, that's the new scene. I'm like, I guess
And we as vets are like, this ain't our shit.
it ain't our cup of tea, but the
It
whole
ain't our
venue
shit.
was just like that whole thing.
Is it
And
kind of like a hipster type sound or something like that?
I don't even know how to explain it, man. It's like, to me, it's nails on a chalkboard, and for some reason, it's music to somebody. When nails on a chalkboard becomes music, it becomes music to somebody.
I could see that happening for real. Someone's gonna
Well, that's
bring
like the whole mayonnaise joke. Oh, it's mayonnaise and shit. Then someone made a song about mayonnaise and it became music.
Look, look, I'll shake the bottle. That's a new song somewhere.
Right.
That's the new. Put a beat to it or whatever. I'll take 20% if you guys use that soundbite. But
Right. It's
But
like
that's-
it's like it's like me when I make my coffee in the morning and I'm stirring my sugar and I make a beat with my stir.
Right.
And I can record on my phone and put it on TikTok and oh, it's a new song. And then someone droning up sheep somewhere will be like, oh, it's a cool song. And then it goes viral and then I'll become a millionaire because I made a beat with my coffee.
yeah,
Have you
that's
seen the TikTok guitar stuff? It's ridiculous.
it's the one. It's like I see a few of them. Great musicians. I mean, a lot of great musicians. Yet again, at the level they are at, I don't see them playing a solo performance, and I don't see them playing any originals. They're still playing covers. The young lady who sits there and plays Disturbed or plays Metallica, or yet again, we hear the beat and she finishes the riff. They're all covers. Every single one of them are
Everything's there.
covers.
There's nothing original.
And if they play originals, no one's watching. No one's listening.
Yeah, no, it's like I try to like follow a few of them, kind of like what they to see what
Yeah.
they're doing, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, it's not bad music, but it's just like no one gives a shit. It's like random girls in like Ohio, and it's just like no one gives a shit.
Or like the youth bass player guy, the Italian dude who sits there, takes like forever, the whole long video to go play the one riff that plays 30 seconds. Or the skinny white dude that knows how to really play bass, but he's playing a different version of a cover, and they're all covers. Nothing
Or
is
there's the guy
original anymore.
who's like, oh, this bass line is really this song that you didn't know had a cool bass line, and he's playing the cool arpeggiated bass line over like the most synthetic pop song, but
Yeah,
because, like that's cool, but again, it's covers. You're not
nothing's
showcasing
original
anything
anymore.
creative.
Yeah, nothing's original. Jay, if the four of us got and started a band like tomorrow, no offense, the only ones listening to us are our friends, and it's like literally what, 20 people? You know
If
what? We
that.
get back together.
But
We
by the
could-
way, if we do this, we got to get Rod yelling against the microphone, but you got to do it while like a Knicks game is on or like a Jets game is on,
Oh my god.
because Rod will have a fit. It'll
Will
be
he fall down though? I want to. Will he
Hey,
fall
to my
down?
defense, I've been known to be louder than some certain
Some
bands.
bands,
So.
yeah, yeah.
Let's put it.
You're-
This is a true story. We've had shows with Midnight Society, my cover band, where we were pretty loud in the house. It was my sister. We were pretty loud, and let's say like the sports game was on. Rod was yelling over our band.
Yes.
There was a time I played it, and I'll never forget this one either. It was a time that Hollywood Drive-By played 89 North, and you heard Rod as loud as the band, which was mic'd up. And you heard him just as much.
You know the last time I was at 89 North
What was that?
was when I forgot the girl's name, but she was on Walking Dead and she had a country show at 89 North.
Sounds about right.
That was like 6 years ago. Last
Again, but that's the thing. But all the good venues on Long Island that were like worth anything aren't there anymore. Is 89 North? I don't think 89 North's a thing anymore, or maybe it.
Well, 89 North would just be a filler to the country bar that's down the street in Patchogue.
Well, now it would, yeah.
Yeah, it will just be
Everything's
whatever's not at the
different.
Garden. Will just be at 89 North.
And I'm pissed off now too because like the one good bar that I liked in Patchogue, they turned into a country bar anyway.
Which
They
one?
got rid of Hoptron
Emporium?
now or some shit.
Did they?
They got rid of Hoptron. It's a country bar now.
Oh, I remember going to like 2 restaurants or whatever, and I'm just like, I'm good. I don't know why I took the drive to Patchogue for this.
It changed. The reason you go, in my opinion, the reason you go to Patchogue at this point, this is me.
Yeah.
If you're going for like music, you go to Brick House Brewery.
Yeah.
Remember Brick
You
House?
see One band at 89 North, and then it's over. It's like nothing else.
Yeah.
Man, I used to
There's
love Emporium. I'm not gonna lie, Emporium was freaking
I
awesome.
remember
Emporium was good,
89
but the
North.
Emporium
I've
changed though.
gone to a
Emporium's
few
the
Yeah, I
country
heard.
bar.
Emporium is cool, but they changed that. That's gone too.
Emporium. The problem with Emporium was they had 3 hard, heavy acts play there, and then died because look how far away it is from the major city. When you're a major city or your mood of transportation is really off the LIE and you have to go back the same way and it takes forever, it takes a musician over 3 hours to get to Patchogue from New York City.
It's
Was
That's
that
not
the
good.
place near Stony Brook, the Emporium?
No, the Emporium was in Patchogue, which ended
Yeah.
up turning into the whatever beer garden that they have there.
Fuck it is.
And
Yeah,
they
it's
had
like-
the
it's like
theater too, the
Patchogue.
Patchogue Theater.
The
I've seen
Patchogue
it.
Theater. So the place,
Yeah.
the Patchogue has 3 venues for music.
I actually introduced a band at the Patchogue Theater.
Actually, there's a few of them, but the main ones are the main ones that they do in Patchogue are pretty much 89 North, Brick House
Yeah.
Brewery, and I think that's really it. I know Bobby Q does like cover bands. A lot of the other little smaller bars do like cover bands, shit, but like for like.
Oh, that was good. I like barbecue. That was a good
Bobby
place.
Q was a cool spot. Oh yeah, because your boys, Kings of the Ring.
Yeah, I had my birthday party there too that one year.
Yes, you
Yeah,
did.
but for Long Island purpose alone, when you have to drive all the way that far out, that's why I turned into a country place because they were able to fill it out for all the country music that they brought in.
Well, also, I've noticed a weird thing with like Suffolk County, especially like that Patchogue, like Port Jeff 112 area.
Mhm.
They love that prog funk reggae shit.
Yes.
The what now? What?
Fucking band out
Prague
He's like,
funk
what?
reggae.
He said what?
Yeah.
there.
What?
Like,
Yeah.
It's just weird. Like Prague. What's Prague reggae?
It's think like reggae, like riffing, like reggae, like chords with like,
Only one band there's
like-
one band I can think of like that.
But not Skindridge.
No, it starts with an O.
OAR.
No, the reggae funk. Can't think of their name.
I don't know.
Yeah, but no, my point is,
Oh,
if you like
I know a
local-
band that's kind of like that. Oogie Wawa.
Exactly.
But
Well,
but they're
that's
local
exactly
band.
that's
But they're
every- if you-
local.
Oh, I thought you were talking about local.
No.
I was talking local, but in general for that area, like what comes out of that area. No, everything. No, all joking aside, like I'm not even trying to be a dick anymore, but this is the truth. If you go down like 112 from Patchogue up to Port Jeffer down, every fucking band that comes out there and plays out there sounds like fucking Oogie Wawa.
That's
If you don't
because
sound like Oogie Wawa, you're not shit out there.
wasn't the venue Fishbone or Fishbrain, something like that? Wasn't there a venue called Fish
Funky
something
Fish
there?
in
The Funky
Bayshore.
Fish.
That was
I
Vegas.
That's
played
what
a
it
metal
was.
show there.
I've done
Slow Painful Dose played there.
I played
Yeah,
there. Dusko's
that was the
Festival.
last time and the only time they played there because they're known for other reggae weird stuff that ever happened there.
No, there were a bunch of metal shows there, man. There were a bunch of
There were
metal
hardcore
shows there.
there too. That was
And it's funny, the night of our show, I think the Toasters were hanging outside, or that was another show I was at. The Toasters were supposed to play the next day or something,
I don't remember.
and they were outside in their van. It was pretty cool.
Were they toking as well? Were they toasting as well too?
I don't remember. I
likely.
don't remember.
No, but it's like crazy, like the way that like that's but yeah, but going back to Oogie Wawa, like everything in like Patchogue to Port Jeff sounds like Oogie Wawa. Like that's I think what kind of turned Hollywood Drive-By into its directions.
Was Oogie Wawa even around when I was there, though? I think they came
Oh,
later.
Oogie Wawa changed names because there was something else. Maui Wowie and the Good Vibrations, what they were called first.
Yeah, right. I
And then
remember
Oogie
that.
Wawa and then Oogie Wawa came, I think 2 or 3 years after, because I remember interviewing them when I had Extreme Rock for WHPC.
Chad was in another band that I played a lot on Radio X. I can't remember what it was called. He was in 2 bands, the bassist that I worked with back in the Radio X days, and I can't remember the names. But that's the only member I really know from Oogie Wawa.
Yeah,
And I
Chad.
talked
Like,
to the
it's I know Chad the most. I know the singer a little bit. I know Chad the most just because he like the one who bartends locally. I know he still bartends at Portside and Port Jeff, or he was before COVID. I don't know what he's doing now. I'm not like friends with him, but you know.
I haven't spoken to that kid in years. I remember.
I don't know. I don't live out there. I live out here. I do what's out here. But I just realized, guys, it's almost 10:30, and I got to get up early for work in the morning.
I still haven't eaten dinner yet.
Oh, jeez.
We're terrible. So
Right.
Yeah, you
with
order
that,
food.
time
you-
flies.
I think we're calming down, though. I think we touched
Yeah.
on everything. We really like
We
outdid
could keep this
ourselves.
going all day.
We definitely AWD today, that's for sure.
Hey, we
Well, let
touched
me
on
ask you this. Let me ask you this. What's coming up for you? What's going on with Evolution Comics? What's going on with This Week in Pop Culture? What do you have next on the going on?
So I'll be Sunday, if you guys air this, whatever. Sunday, I will be at the New Jersey Toy Show in Wayne on June 6th. The following week, June 12th and 13th, I'll be at right outside Pittsburgh in Morrisville, Pennsylvania, for a show called Steel City Con. That's gonna have Britt Baker and Rikishi there at the same time.
Nice.
You mentioned it, yeah.
Well, we
Right.
know where
Pittsburgh.
Jay's going. We know where RJ's
Jay's
going.
gonna go, right?
I'd love to go. I mean, it's in Pittsburgh. I'd love to take a plane
Take a
there.
short
I don't
flight.
think
It ain't that bad. It's a couple hours.
It's a short flight. In July, I'll be at the Cradle of Aviations on July 17th and 18th for the Cradle PopCon that's happening on July 17th and 18th, Cradle Aviations in Long Island. Then I'll be at Mohegan Sun, July 30th to August 1st,
Nice.
Comic-Con as well too. And hopefully, COVID permitted and everything, you'll see me back October 7th to the 10th for New York Comic Con. I will 100% be at New York Comic Con this year.
There was a Comic-Con here in West Palm Beach. Over the summer. It might happen again. I don't know.
You got a convention. You got a convention next weekend. I just gave you the info for it not too long ago. There was one show happening. I think Florida has a show. I don't know if you got a Florida.
Said Orlando,
fan.
right? Or
I don't remember. Hold on. Let me remind myself what information I gave you. And that is the Central Florida Comic Con, which is happening in Lakeland, Florida. and
Yeah,
that's
that's
happening
cool.
on June 12th to the 13th for anyone in the Florida area. Yeah, as far as for all my podcast shows, every Tuesday I do a show, a toy show, where we talk about all brand new toys called This Week in Toy Culture. Then we'll do a show on Wednesdays called The Take, where it's like a free for all of topics. There's a giant topic in mind when it comes from pop culture to human rights when it comes to pop culture, but basically keeping it in pop culture form. We do it on a show called The Take, and we do the best week of pop culture called This Week in Pop Culture, where we talk about everything of the week put into one giant show. And hopefully somewhere down the line I'll do a new show for wrestling and a new show for doing interviews, but who knows.
And you're on Twitch too, right? You're on YouTube, Twitch.
Yeah, you catch me on twitch.tv/Evo Comics Inc. If you want to know the info, that's my Instagram tag is right there. So go follow me on Instagram. That's my personal one. And I have a ton of info when it comes to shows, Comic Cons, comic books, even local shows. I still post every now and then for local bands.
That's awesome.
Chuck will probably link that on YouTube and
I will
Anchor.
definitely link all of this on YouTube. Everything,
That's
links
good.
to everything.
Yeah, so
I'm the king of the promo.
the king of the promo. Yeah, I
the
still
promo.
help out bands. Like I still help out like a lot of people that still need help in the scene or whatever. I still look up venues, rock metal venues. I remember not too long ago, a band asked me, speaking of band and venue, a band asked me if there's any venues outside of New York, and I just went, yeah, it depends on where you want to go. Build a list of tours you want to be at, and we'll send you on your way. There's still venues out there, guys.
Just gotta find them harder.
I know a bunch of them here in Florida.
New
And
York,
the
Long
best-
Island has none, but other places have.
But yeah, but then also find those open mic nights. Those open mic
That's the
nights are
trick.
always gold.
Oh, open mic nights are my new favorite thing because
Yes.
I'm
You
pissed
used
off because
to
I work.
host
And it
them.
sucks because I work nights, so I can't go to half of them.
Yes.
You used to
They're
host
original.
them.
I miss
Go to
hosting.
the Cup.
When I had the coffee house, I used to host them once, like every other week.
Does the Cup still do them on Wednesdays in Wantagh?
Not with COVID, but they were prior to COVID. It was
Yeah, I know
actually
they-
perfect. It was amazing too with the because I was in the coffee house scene for a short time before we wrap this up. And it was literally I did mine Tuesday nights.
Yes.
Cup did theirs Wednesdays, and Belmar Bean did theirs Thursdays. It was fucking 3 awesome open mic nights.
And real trick for all the guys watching or listening right now, coffee shop nights, especially when it's open mic night, we're always filled with girls.
Always
Always. So
cute girls,
give it a shot.
cute girls.
No,
too.
no harm, no foul. Give it a shot.
And you get legitimate connection because they're not drinking their brains out.
And they're not drinking alcohol, they're drinking coffee. So they'll give you
Or
their
tea.
opinion.
Yeah.
They'll give
you're
you your
not wrong.
opinion.
It's true. It was a fun time because there was a lot of nice people in that. Yeah, and there were a lot of girls.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed
Nah,
out on
it's not-
that.
Yeah, except for my place though, because the tea was way too expensive.
Doesn't
Oh, God,
matter.
we
Doesn't
got
matter.
one bad review about this one degenerate. The one time Rob visits me, this
What do you
one
get,
degenerate
$12
comes
tea?
in and stirs crap, and then he complains on Yelp that our tea is overpriced. Meanwhile, I don't think he ever drank our tea, and I'm pretty sure the guy who complained about it, the girl that he was with, bought the tea for him. So I don't know what the heck he was babbling.
Oh my
you go.
God, I'll
Was
forget
that on the
this.
complaint? Was that on Yelp? Was that the Yelp review?
That
Oh,
was a
Chuck,
Yelp
if you
review.
can, Chuck, if you
That
can
was
still
My
find that,
place coffee house.
you gotta
Go,
send
go
that
read
to
it.
me.
You'll see it. It's hilarious.
I was dying when you showed that to me.
It was
There
the
we
funniest
go.
review. And then the older lady with the blonde hair who was the owner because it was my mother's
Yes.
family business.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on your show, guys. I had a great time.
Ash, it's been
It
an
was
honor.
great to have you, man. It
We'll
was-
do this
it
again
was
another
Appreciate
awesome.
time.
it. Yeah.
We'll follow this up one day and we'll
I-
promote
Let's
all
have
of
you
your
back,
awesome
man.
events.
Yes, I'll definitely have Chuck on my show for the toy show. Guys, I need to see your collections before I put anyone else. Come on, well, let me see your collection.
Oh,
Give it to
mine's
me,
put
baby.
up.
All right, let me
No.
turn this around. We'll get the- we'll
I
get the-
don't really have.
I want well,
my
not right now.
stuff
I
here,
want
so.
pictures and videos for next time. Give me
All
what
right,
you
I'll-
got,
I'll
baby.
deal. That I can
Show
do
me.
for you.
Tag
Then I
me,
can-
tag me on Instagram as well too. If you got an awesome collection and you want to get posted, whatever, I have no problem showing anyone's
Got
collection.
you.
We'll go through
give
a
me a
quick
couple of
30
days.
minute,
I'll
1
have
hour
that for you.
We're a
video.
bunch of collectors too.
Yeah, look, we're a bunch of nerds and
Yes.
everything too. Championship belts, toys, Marvel, DC. Look, guys, even got a Deadpool mask.
If you go on my Facebook,
I have
you'll
one.
see.
I have
you'll
one.
see
I have a
me
cooler
with
one than that. I
pictures.
can't find it though.
If you go on my Facebook, you'll see what picture with pretty much all the belts I have. So
Yes.
Yeah.
I need
Thanks,
to get
guys.
more. All
All
right,
right,
man.
guys. It has been
Hey,
a
it
fun
was
time
great.
again.
It's been
Make
good,
some noise
yeah.
for Hash. Thank you, Hash, for coming on and having fun
Yeah,
with
Thanks
us.
a lot,
appreciate
buddy.
it.
It was good having you.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
And hold on, I like to say, hold on, before I forget, whatever.
You forgot what you were going to say before you forgot. Cool.
AWZ
Yeah, I did.
for you.
No, literally, thank you for having me. Guys, if you haven't watched the show, go and check out Attention Wrestling Disorder. These are the guys. I'm happy to be part of the Attention.
Appreciate you.
Thank you guys for having me on the show.
Of course, man. All right,
One
man.
life.
That was Hash. I'm RJ Show.
I am Chuck Coffee. I'll drink a coffee next time for real.
And I am the Hot Rod 521.
Saying
And we will see you in the next one. Later. Boom.
boom, goodbye, and good night. Mwah.